What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. We are live with, this is it, the final game of the T5S2 Season 2 Invitational Group Stage, and this is going to be a spicy one because this is a win and in for our players today. Whoever wins this game is most likely to get into the elimination stage. Actually, I think they just do straight up get in. So this is going to be a tough one. It's also a sweet matchup. We have in the red over here on the right-hand side, this is Moyer, a.k.a. Mr. Black, playing Necrons versus Ben Hunt, Love in the Age of... it was Love in the Age of Corona, but we got cut off. Playing Tyranids in the blue side. I'm super excited for this game. And for this game, I have Shuma to talk about these Xenos factions fighting each other. How's it going, Shuma?
Hey, pretty excited. This game actually was one of the ones I was looking forward to. You always kind of have a little bit of an idea how a game's going to go before it even starts, just looking at matchups. But I got nothing here. This is going to be wild.
I know. This one's going to be crazy. I'm really glad I have you here as a Necron extraordinaire. I know you've played exactly one game with Necrons, so you know all the in and outs of the faction. So we're going to have some really insightful commentary.
If you take an army composed of 5 floating cubes, you go 1-0 forever. You just win.
He did it. Won the game. Thanks everybody for joining. Let's give a bunch of people in the chats. We are streaming, for those who don't know, to both Twitch and YouTube. We do have the Twitch chat in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. But if you are on Twitch, you get a little bonus tonight because we're going to be doing our first giveaway of the event. I set it up today, and I hope it works, because I haven't tried it before, but ! giveaway in the chat should get you the information. I believe that you basically get entries for channel points, and if you're a subscriber, then they count double, so that's pretty sweet. So if you want to join the giveaway, I think we got a bunch of models that were donated by the community. I think we will be giving away... I got a unit of infiltrators and incursors here. We'll give that away. And how about, to be thematic, also a Phobos Librarian, the one from Shadowspear, but he's in a little blister pack all by himself. So we'll give those away to somebody lucky. And if you want to enter the giveaway and join in, then you can come on over to the Twitch. We're at twitch.tv/tacticaltortoisetv. Yeah! Which is pretty cool.
Can your venerable co-host win those?
No.
Oh. That hurts.
Got him. Chat says it's not working. All right, well, let me go and dig in here.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
If I just type it in to the Steam chat we're using in the chat there, do I win that?
Yeah, does it work? But I guess while we're waiting for the system to tell me whether or not it's working, we can go over some lists.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Exclamation. Oh, okay. There we go. All right, it should be working now, everybody. It was turned off. You know? There you go. That's how we go. Let's see if it goes here now. Does that work? Yes. All right. We can buy ticket with channel points. Amazing. All right. It's working. Sweet. All right. Let's talk about some lists. Let's do that. Who should we start with? We got Ben Hunt over here on the left-hand side. Should we start there?
Yeah, let's start at least with something that we both have a little bit of expertise on.
yeah. We can leave the baseless speculation for later.
Let's start strong.
Yeah. So this is a classic style of Tyranid list coming from Ben. Reading through this list takes you back to the heady days of 2019, because it starts with a battalion detachment out of High Fleet Kraken led by a Neurothrope as well as the Swarm Lord, and then immediately we get a hallmark of 8th edition, 20 Gene Stealers, everyone.
Love it.
Amazing. An old style of Tyranid unit, 300 points in 9th edition, way too expensive, but you know what? They're really good against Sisters, and they're really good against Harlequins, and that's why we're bringing them. Not super good this matchup. Unfortunately, like, this entire Necron army is toughness 5, and has a bunch of invulnerable saves, so they are going to mostly bounce off. But they are a big boat of objective secured bodies that you can throw onto an objective to grab it for a round. And you know what? That's fine. Sometimes it's all you need. We also have a unit of 10 Hormigants, as well as a unit of 10 Termagants, as well as 9 Tyranid warriors with a mix of Scything Talons and Rending Claws, as well as Adrenal Glands for that gorgeous +1 to advance and charge. Following up, we have a Lictor in the same detachment who is, interestingly, I think deploying on the table. Yeah, there it is on Objective 1.
That man has never done that before.
Yeah. We had to take a little bit to find it there because it was not somehow was not being placed in reserve. So that's strange. Yeah, it looks
it's got like that new kid at school thing going right there. Where he's like looking side to side, looking at the other kids, kind of like doesn't know where to sit at the lunch table before school starts.
He's like, is this Steve Buscemi? I mean, he's like, hello, fellow deployment zone deployers. How's it going in non-reserve land over here where no one's reserving? Looks like Rex is already done deploying. When you have a quarter of your army packed up in the Silent King, then your deployment phase becomes pretty simple, I think. But the rest of the Tyranid list going down now. We have, following that up, a Hive Fleet Kronos Patrol Detachment, classic again for Tyranids. That is bringing a Neurothrope, as well as a unit of Ripper Swarms, a unit of 10 Termagants, 1 unit of 6 Hive Guard, attended by another unit of 4 Hive Guard, as well as 3 Sky Slasher Swarms. Following that up, 2 Exocrines. Seems pretty straightforward. At least the 6 Hive Guard plus the 2 Exocrines and a Neurothrope is like a classic for Kronos Patrol Detachments. The Sky Slasher Swarms are really sweet technology. I have been loving them in my games, and I try to fit them in any list that I can. They score engaged all fronts, like, instantaneously on turn 1. They also, like, move block. They block banners really well, which is a lot of times, like, sort of game-breaking to a matchup. And because they're Hive Fleet Kronos, they can project your Deepest Shadow aura, like, across your opponent's entire deployment zone on the top of turn 1. So a lot of times they just can't reciprocate very well with psychic powers, which is pretty sweet. What do you think of this list, Shuma?
I like quite a bit. Actually, I like the paint job chosen quite a bit as well. Kind of like this, like, deep crimson mixed with this almost midnight blue. Looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Genestealer inclusion. I feel like while they don't slot in very well against a large portion of the meta, which is composed of Vanguard veterans with Storm Shields, they slot in very well into lists that Tyranids have otherwise a very hard time facing. They're like a great little, like, turnkey solution to, like, both to Harlequins. They're a great turnkey solution to, say, Repentia, because you just get them out of the Rhino with the Hive Guard, and then you just smash them with the follow-up on the Genestealers, who then, just get right out of there with an overrun afterwards and hopefully escape. I always love the Exocrines. They're big boys. They're my favorite. Interestingly, no ability to ignore AP 1 and 2 on the Tyranid Warriors in this game, but also, I mean, considering this, like, Race's army is composed almost entirely of either AP 0 or what's the Silent King's gun, like AP 30?
That's a great question. I know the Mainier's guns are 4, yeah, -4, and his little gun -3 on the little gun.
Yeah, so
yeah, a lot
pretty good cost savings there.
Yep. Yeah, we have put Dermic Symbiosis on both of the Exocrines. Reyes was surprised, and I'm typically surprised that we don't put Enhanced Resistance on the Warriors, but as we saw in Ben's previous game, he is using the Warriors more for just sort of like a physical body block than to play for objectives. They're just there to be really cheap bodies that take up a ton of space on the table. So they make it as difficult as possible to touch these Hive Guard. And you can see that Ben is really good at this defensive placement. He has like cubicles lined out for the Hive Guard of models. So you can't touch the Hive Guard without engaging an entire unit of Genestealers, which destroys you if you do. And then I imagine that we see the Warriors fill in the back there. So even if, one of these units of Wraiths, like, ghostly apparates through his entire army, there's going to be no way to get those guys in contact with the Hive Guard.
Draw a line of sight from themselves when they shoot. Is that right?
Indeed. I kind of wonder if one of these Hive Guards has maybe like a little, like, hang in there kitty poster in his cubicle, just like hanging off one of these Genestealers maybe.
Yeah. I think so. Absolutely. Yeah, there's motivational posters all up on the backside of these transit walls here.
Hive Guard they work from home.
They
so
do.
They're just saying
They do. They socially distance with the best of them, They socially distance exactly 36 inches away. All right, moving over to Rex's list here. This is a custom dynasty. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by the choices of the dynastic codes. Relentlessly Expansionist, Eternal Conquerors. So the entire list is objective secured, besides all of the characters, interestingly enough. And it all makes a 6-inch move before the game starts. An incredibly powerful combination of effects, and obviously Reyes has been using it to the best of his ability in his game so far. And this is a little bit of a sort of sub-version of the beast spam lists that we've been seeing out of Necrons recently, using a lot of Canoptic Wraiths, sometimes using a lot of Canoptic Scarabs, and then backed up by the powerful characters and Catan sometimes, and then sometimes the infantry as well. But Reyes has thrown his own spin on it, as he is wont to do. This list comes in with a patrol detachment, 2 units of 5 Canoptic Wraiths, as well as 5 Immortals, led by Illuminor Seraz. So, interestingly, what we're doing here is all of the detachments are led by the independent special characters, so the non-Tomb World-specific ones. So we have Seraz as well as Anrakir the Traveler, both of whom can affect any Necron unit with their abilities. They don't need to be in the same from the same dynasty, which is pretty useful. We also have, like I mentioned before, Anrakir the Traveler in a second patrol detachment, as well as a unit of Immortals. A Hexmark Destroyer, the Gloctopus himself, which Reyes elected to put into reserve in order to counter Ben's Lictor, and hilariously, Ben just did not put the Lictor in reserve.
He did, however, put a unit of Rippers in reserve.
He did.
So,
there you go. We get the opportunity.
At least there's that.
Yeah.
Also,
fortunately, the Rippers are actually very resilient against the Destroyer's weapons, so you cannot kill the Rippers, or it'll be tough.
What is legitimately at risk of that guy, though, is, I mean, he can just land anyway.
Yes. Yep.
And the conflagration plus a possible up to 12 kills off the pistols, that guy can just mow down half a Gene Stealer squad. 100%.
Yeah, he is going to be disgusting at killing all of these little annoying units that Tyranids can bring, so that's going to be pretty useful. But I do like that. We'll talk about it when we go over secondaries. But Ben is sort of he watched Reyes' last game, and where the Hexmark Destroyer essentially killed the Harlequin secondary objectives, multiple turns in a row. And he said, "We're not going to be deploying scramblers today. We're going for investigate sites, not an objective that many people take." And we'll see how that works out for him. But finishing up this list, we have a unit of 10 Lich Guard with their shields and their swords, ready to obsect some objectives into the stratosphere. We also have a big unit of Tomb Blades, 8 Tomb Blades with a mix of Shield Veins and not Shield Veins, everyone with Tesla Carbines. This is a unit that Reyes likes to dump a bunch of buffs on, and then, kind of let them loose on their opponent's army. And they do a whole bunch of damage with the double exploding Tesla Carbine shots with full rerolls from the Silent King. Very powerful. We also have a second...
I think it'd be devastating.
Yeah, it's so gross. We also have a second unit of Tomb Blades, all with particle beamers, which is pretty good as well. They're just 5-shot guns, man. They're just like a decent gun.
Yeah. It's cheap. That is the generic default gun on the Tomb Blades. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the generic default gun on the Tomb Blade. You're not spending, 5 points per gun? 10 points per gun? Upgrading to the Tesla?
Yeah, 5 points.
They don't have the combo potential, but if you're dumping all of your, combo buffs onto the one unit, having this other flex unit that can just run out and scythe out, what is it, 30 shots there at strength 6?
Yep.
That unit is devastating if you're not shooting at something on a 2-up save, which, mysteriously, not a lot of these Tyranids have 2-up saves.
Yeah.
I'd say. They're fewer than I'm used to.
Yeah, Tyranids, the low armor is going to hurt a lot. Necrons traditionally have been a little bit of a tough matchup for Tyranids just because they're able to kill their infantry so well. That said, they do eat hits from Hive Guard with the best of them, so the Hive Guard may be able to pull this game out for Ben. We'll see how it goes.
And I'll say this particular Necron list is also kind of lacking in the anti-armor.
Mm-hmm.
So even though the Excrens present such a threat, they might present a threat that's difficult for the Necron list to solve. The Menhirs could slap in 12 wounds a turn. Oh,
looks like Tyranids going first.
Tyranids going first? Alright, that's what they want to see. The Menhirs can slap in 12 wounds a turn, which is the exact number on an Excren, but, if you just put, a Catalyst on there, that guy's going to survive that.
They swap the colors on the clock? Okay. Alright, whatever. We're good. So yeah, it looks like we're just gonna be doing the 6-inch relentlessly expansionist moves here for Reyes.
pulling back from the line
Mm-hmm.
with the Immortals, trying to get out of, I assume, Tyranid or Gene Stealer charge range, maybe?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we just want to make it so, like, you don't want to give those Gene Stealers something easy that they can, like, get into the side up, pick it off, and then, like, you know, jump back behind the walls on Objective 3, for example. So if those Immortals move up to be played more aggressively for the objective, they just die, and they give the Gene Stealers extra movement, which is not good. Yeah. We also didn't
really back quite a bit.
Yeah. We also didn't mention that. I think we also probably pre-measured the range for the Hive Guard, and I imagine we're going to give them as little to shoot as possible.
Yeah, it's such a great use case for the extra movement on relentlessly expansionist. It's like you see that, and your first thought is to Alpha Strike with it,
right?
But one of the best use cases is to see an enemy unit that like doesn't want to move, has limited line of sight, and if you go second, I mean, it's essentially just a whole army redeploy.
Yep. Incredible. Yeah, very powerful. It does. I mean, you do lose that board space, but in a lot of situations, you would much rather have the models on the table, and I think this is one of them, since against Tyranids, and especially against the double Hive Guard build, you just bleed models over the course of the game. And,
and with
one of the ways you beat it is just by killing everything that's not a Hive Guard on the table. And if you can kill them faster than they kill you, you win.
With this list as well, I mean, the Tomb Blades move 14, the Wraiths move 12, searching for assaults, like, the Tyranids have to move out onto objectives 2 and 3, but, I mean, both of those are still fully within charge and fire range of this Necron force with, like, that withering firepower that we were talking about a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
So even with the fallback, it doesn't really lose the Necrons much. Doodlage saying the CP counts continue to make him jelly. Oh, I know. I've been running Demon and Orc lists that are starting at 3 CP routinely.
So it looks like the giveaway thing is not registering people's channel points, which is annoying. I apologize, everybody. I set this up just this afternoon, and I was not sure how it would work. So clearly we're finding out.
We're all learning together.
Whoopsies. So I will try to fix that, chat, but if I can't figure it out, then we'll just have more prizes for the elimination stage games, I guess. I apologize, everybody.
I'm gonna move my Lictor.
So going through the Tyranids' first turn here, probably gonna with that conservative placement by Rays, probably not a lot of shots to be able to get. Maybe we move an Exocrine shot or an Exocrine up and try to hit some Canoptic Wraiths, but I'm not sure if you even want to do that when you move into range of the Menhirs that could just kill it. So
you go up, you do your favorite strat, Pathogenic Slime, you kill a whole unit.
Yeah, that works every time.
Dino's spotted.
Every time.
Every time.
Never has it ever resulted in absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't do that every time. For those who want to check out the list as well, everyone, exclamation point lists in the chat. We'll give you the links to those. So if you want to follow along here. And it looks like I think we're going to try to stay relatively conservative with this first turn of Tyranid movement, which makes a ton of sense. Both of these factions are going to be really good at killing each other, right, with ranged attacks. So that'll be helpful. Talking about the secondary objectives, Rays in the red, taking While We Stand, We Fight, Purge the Vermin, which I think is appropriate against Tyranids. They are verminous. As well as Vital Ground. Vital Ground's going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure how reliable that is, given the amount of really quick OBSEC is on the table for the Tyranids. But it's one that we've seen a lot of players pick over the course of the Invitational on battle lines. But, you know, not to mixed results, I think I would say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're left with a question about what you take in alternate to that. Like, engage on all fronts is very risky. Obviously, nothing scrambling here. You gotta kind of like wonder that, like, it's very hard to take a meaningful kill secondary into Ben's list as well.
Yeah. Yeah, both these
So
lists...
sometimes you'll let fishing for 6 to 8 pointers.
Yeah. Both the lists are very difficult to score the kill secondaries off of. You know, like, what do you take against raises? You can't really do the thing where you thin their ranks and then double score on Necron warriors, because Raze doesn't take Necron warriors. They're all sort of low model count.
Slay the Warlord.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh wait, no, right. You can't shoot that man. He's actually only 16 wounds.
Yes. Yeah, you can't shoot him automatically.
200-foot tall Colossus cannot be seen.
Yeah. Fortunately, the Hive Guard are very good against him. They're sort of high enough volume that they get through his invulnerable save, and being Strength 8 means that Toughness 7 is a little bit problematic for him. But again, it's 26 wounds to get through him and the Maniers, and the Maniers probably eat a couple extra wounds in there as well just from overkilling. So you have to, plus he regenerates every turn. It takes like 3 rounds of concentrated shooting to kill that guy. You basically have to tell your opponent that you promise not to attack the entire rest of their army if you want if you want to kill the Silent King. So we are moving up the Sky Slasher Swarm here to get that engaged on all fronts. It's very much the use case of this unit. Unfortunately, I think that puts them into pretty easy threat range of the Canoptic Wraiths, which means that we may give Raze a charge onto the objective 3.
It may be ideal, though. I mean, like, you want Raze committing that unit into something that you genuinely do not care about.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can just smash it on the return. 'Cause, I mean, like, if they move and hit those, unless he actually intentionally puts them up directly against the wall, and then the Wraiths could just stay on the other side of the wall. But, I mean, if that wasn't the case, but it is, then the 2 Excrons could just shoot directly at the Wraiths, because they have to shoot or jump to the other side of the objective.
Yep.
Perhaps the intention here is just to pelt them with Hive Guard instead. Or to, I guess, for Raze, or, yeah, an attempt to get Raze to commit so that you could just pelt whatever comes in with the Hive Guard, and then maybe leave the Excrons to fire at the Immortals, or perhaps the Lich Guard if they move. Or have something to cover Objective 2, because they both have, with a move, they'll have both excellent line of sight into portions of it. A lot about this game is going to be attempting to bait out movement so that your army can just, like, overwhelmingly punish anybody left visible.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to run these Tyranid warriors.
Making use of that delicious Kraken extra advance rolls. Although only a 3 on that one is not super exciting.
Well, Felina, good point. The Rippers need to be up against the wall to score engage on all fronts.
Yes. Yeah, we can see the center line is very much does not leave much room for them. So they can't be an inch away from the wall. They're going to be in charge range. Yeah.
Downside of those big base sizes.
Exactly, yeah. And then I like this, keeping the warriors relatively safe. They don't have that enhanced resistance, despite the fact that it does protect them against the vast majority of the Necron army. That does mean that they are going to go down pretty quickly to these Wraiths once they get stuck in. So keeping them safe means that you have a lot of those bodies that you can chuck onto the objective later.
I think the ideal here is to keep as much out of line of sight as is conceivably possible. The Tomb Blades will essentially pick up any non-monstrous Tyranid unit that they have line of sight to.
Yeah.
Like, even these Tyranid warriors are not safe, especially from that from the 8-man brick.
Yeah, I mean, they'll stand up a little bit. They shouldn't lose more than a couple models to each shot, but again, there are 3 wound models, so losing a couple models is that's a lot of potentially objective secured wounds you could be putting on an objective.
I mean, they fire, what, 32 shots with full rerolls, exploding for 2 more hits on 6s. They're generating, like, 45 hits off of that or so.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on 3 is 30 wounds, 4 up save, down to 3 up off the cover for 10. Yeah, you're right, about 3.
Yep. Now, on Ben's side, we have engaged on all fronts, like we mentioned. While we stand, we fight, which hits both of the Hive Guard units as well as the Swarm Lord, interestingly. It means that I think we're going to be trying to play a much cagier game than normal on Ben's side here. Especially given that Swarm Lord typically likes to sort of commit late game, but if you do that and there's still the Silent King on the table, he just dies. So I think we may just be trying to, leverage the ranged assets as long as possible. We do have the short table edge deployment zone, so the Necrons, especially since they moved backwards with their pregame move, are going to have to cover a lot of ground. So you get a turn or two of sort of shooting them for free before anything else goes on.
Wait, who dies in that confrontation? You're saying the Swarmlord dies to Zarek, or
Yes.
that Zarek dies to the Swarmlord?
No, Swarmlord super duper dies to the Silent King.
Is it the men here just like
Yeah,
control 2 1 through 3s and just keel over from the shots?
he eats shooting in the way in, and then also the Silent King forces everything to fight last, right? So he gets to hit him first, probably like degrades him. Swarmlord probably doesn't hit back super hard and he kills him the next turn. I think that's how that fight will typically go. The fight last
And yours
aura
just
is
points
really
straight down and
brutal.
fire again.
Yeah. Assuming the Mainers are there, I think we dedicate a couple of these Hive Guard activations just to kill those things, because the flat 6 damage is like, you don't want to be dealing with that all game on these Exocrines. They will kill the crap out of some Exocrines. But I do like this, like I mentioned before, I do like this Investigate Sites pick. It looks like we deployed the Ripper, or the Lictor, excuse me, so we can grab that immediately on turn 1, and there's no way your opponent can contest it. So at the very least, at least in this setup, it's a free 3 points. And I especially like it on battle lines, one, because of this big building in the middle that's going to be protecting your units that are performing the action. Again, it can also make it so that the units contesting you are also protected, but that's okay. You have Hive Guard. You can deal with them. But there's also no objective here. So the Necrons are not incentivized to move up to contest the Investigate Sites pick, or the Investigate Sites action. So you should be free and clear to score it for a couple turns before the Necrons, sort of have the bodies to put models in the way.
Presuming at least these Immortals don't draw line of sight, or that the Raze just doesn't go insane and advance the Tomb Blades within line of sight, because from that one position, that Lictor can be seen from pretty much any unit that can get to maybe halfway past the midpoint on 2.
Yeah.
Though that then does present, a very inviting target for Gene Stealers. X-Crins just blasted off the table, and you're going back into that trade, so it would be possible to continuously keep trading away to prevent Tyranid Ben from ever scoring this objective fully. But I mean, the amount of army you may be losing in the attempt,
right,
would probably cost you the game.
And those are attacks that are not focusing on, for example, these Termagants, who are they're probably going to get. We're going to see an overdrive on Swarmlord into a Hive Commander to get those guys into the corner here on Objective 2, but beyond where this billboard is, so that they aren't in grave danger, and you have to, you force the Canoptic Wraiths to come get them. But yeah, like you said, I don't off the top of my head know what these Immortals are armed with.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. They
are
Gauss.
Gauss.
Feel like they have a gun.
They are Gauss blasters. Yeah, it looks like the battle script of TTS is messed up for them, unfortunately. But they are Gauss blasters in Rex's list, so they cannot advance and shoot those, which means that if they are going to be, I think it's only 24, and they're rapid fire, so they're only firing a single attack if they move, at this stage anyway. And if they shoot, that means that they are not advancing to the objective, so they're not even contesting at all over there. Which would not be awesome. You're just sort of giving up that objective for freezies and not engaging these Termagants at all. Yeah, there's the Metabolic Overdrive to get Swarmlord in range to use that Hive Commander. I do want to give everybody in chat a heads up here where we are located. We've got a big old snowstorm going on. I don't know if you can hear any background noise, but it's pretty noisy up above with snowplows and all the machinery.
Trevi is able to hear the fall of every single snowflake with his phenomenal daredevil-like hearing, so it's much louder for him than it is for others.
Yeah. Last week I was the strongest man in the world, and today I'm the most perceptive, I guess. It is what it is. But if the stream does crash for whatever reason, it's probably snowstorm related. So I do apologize if that does happen to everyone ahead of time.
If you go down, I'll fight on alone.
I'm gonna send it back to the players' mics here. Looks like we're going to the psychic phase just to get an idea of what they're doing.
Hive Commander of the Termagants.
Looks like a quick psychic phase. We just catalysted Symbiostormed onto one Exocrine, and we are putting that Hive Commander into those Termagants to send them to Objective 2.
14.
I'm doing a lot of content this week about the new Dark Angels Codex. One of the things I'm most worried about in that codex is their secondary objective, which gives them kind of like priority targets with extra steps. but thank goodness for Tyranids and being able to move multiple times in one turn, because I think they might be the best faction, or one of the best factions, to actually contest that secondary, which will be good.
Fortunately for them, and also Dark Angels, they don't have quite the same access to heroic intervention as, say, a Space Wolf or a Blood Angels faction lineup does, correct? Like, is there no way to give Deathwing Knights heroic?
I don't believe so.
So perhaps like more so than you might otherwise expect out of a Space Marine faction, because so many of them have the ability to just convey heroic intervention. It's not inconceivable to just slide one Termagant onto some back objective and deny them 15 points. That said, it's really good at secondary. It's really good. Like, we're pushing these Termagants up, and we're moving them in such a way as... we're pulling them back a little bit. I guess we're just measuring out our maximum move there.
Yeah, this feels very aggressive. I don't know. I guess we're
doing the move block. Okay.
Well, we're trying to get engaged in all fronts, I think, is what we're doing here. The move block does help, but again, you're also giving the Immortals a target to charge. So it doesn't... You're not really blocking them from moving too far. And the Wraiths ignore models anyway, right? So... I don't know how much good this does in terms of physically move blocking, but at least you get that extra point for engage in all fronts, which is good.
Keeps the Wraiths back a little bit. It looks like they're not going to be capable of reaching the Lictor with the current placement of these Termagants.
Yeah, that's very.
Not sure how impactful that would be. I don't know if you take the Wraiths and just leapfrog past the Termagants to try and go into that guy anyway. That just seems like it's.
Yeah, that's a long charge.
Them away
I
to
think
the Swarm Lord.
Yeah, that should work because they were all the furthest one back was here. So. Okay. Other shooting.
Thought process might also be here that the Termagants are probably going to spend most of their time as electrified corpses rather than assault targets, and that's just keeping the Necrons from being able to move onto the objective at all.
I'm going to use 2 CP to boost his
essentially leaving them to be forced to be assault targets for the Wraiths too, since the Immortals are definitely not going to clear that break themselves.
That's it for the start of the move. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this Exocrine into those Wraiths there. Alright. So let's do the shots. So you know what? I'm actually going to not use that 2 CP. Mess this up. And just do the one so he doesn't have to move. That's it. Okay. Final answer. 6 shots into the Wraiths.
Okay. Taking some
5s and 6s do explode though because of some Biostorm.
Small shots directly to the Wraiths here.
Reroll the 1.
Turning out to not be small.
So 11 hits. Wounded on 3s. So that many wounds?
7 wounds 3.
Kills a Wraith. Save. Kills a Wraith.
Big hit. Jeez, those saves were not good.
We're gonna kill the
Yeah.
Joker and
Well, they're almost even.
Yeah.
I mean, losing 4 instead of 3, but it's not a hit you want to take anyway.
get back up.
Yeah. Can we, was that enough
the
to
damage
pull
rolls
them
are
out of
made for.
line of sight?
One does.
Nice. 1 does.
No, it's,
Oh, we can.
this guy stands up.
There we go.
Ooh, that's spicy. This is kind of a situation where
And
where you might not want to pathogenic slime because I think you just kill yourself out of line of sight, but it looks like we've done that anyway.
I mean, what is it with you, Trevi? You don't pathogenic slime because it never kills anything. You don't pathogenic slime because it kills too much. Well, you gotta pick, man.
It always does whatever's worse for you. That's what the stratagem says.
You done there? Back to me. Okay. So then his only other target.
And one of the Wraiths came right back, so a net loss of 1, but some more forward momentum for the follow-up turn.
Yeah.
Make the charge in the Sky Slasher Swarm much easier,
1 more.
presuming that is what they opt to do.
So yeah, we retargeted here into the immortal unit. This was gonna be brutal. Oh
Yeah, those
well,
guys
no,
are-
that was a bad wound roll. Just kidding.
I guess they're not going home today.
Yeah, just most of them. All right, only 3.
Reanimation protocols.
All right, well they stay dead.
3 do stay down though.
3 die.
What do you think about the Immortals versus Standard Warriors? I'm like
Move over.
pretty cold on them. I find that the numbers you lose, like the ease with which your opponent can wipe out a 5-man squad, almost makes it worth it to just spend the extra points on the Warriors. Like, just make the list alterations elsewhere
Yeah.
to make it work, in my mind. But I mean, Ray's pretty concertedly is trying to slim down his troop allotment as far as possible, and then is just taking the OBSEC out of the Wraiths, essentially, to kind of turn them into that troop selection.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, the Immortals are kind of just there to die.
Take the damage. Or are they 2?
They're D3, yeah. Just one. Okay, so that is armor shooting phase. Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
So,
I think I might have fixed the giveaway thing, chat. We'll see how it goes.
So I'm gonna get.
So I have it to passively generate people points. It's different than channel points, the currency that's going to use. But you'll get points for doing stuff. Like watching. You passively generate points for watching and following, cheering, all that stuff. And then you can turn those into tickets.
Restart it for you.
Does that mean I can't turn over my dump truck of 20,000 channel points
You can turn that into those
into winning this?
you can turn those into
Both units of 2 blades.
soundboards. Just
All right,
constant.
hold on. I'm gonna do 40 womp womps in a row.
Oh, these.
So we are over to Necrons now.
Xeno spotted.
So turn to turn was mostly
Beach
PHE
Balls
movement, not a lot
gun!
of damage being done. Netting down, 1 Canoptic Wraith and
6.
3 Immortals. It's not the Alpha Strike you're usually hoping for, but it probably was about the best they were gonna get. Complete unwillingness to move the Hive Guard forward to get better range.
We're just gonna advance them.
Sensibly, I would say, because the moment they're visible, they all die to Tomb Blades.
Yeah.
We stand ready.
15 plus 1 is 21 inches.
Yeah!
Modifying my guys does anything. And Lich Guard will advance.
So I'm interested to see how these
So 3.
how the Necron counterpunch
5 is 8.
develops
9.
this turn. Unfortunately, I think the big downside of Necrons is, despite the fact that this list is very quick, it also, unfortunately, is not super long threat ranging. The Canoptic Wraiths only have a 12-inch movement, and they can get pretty far. But again, only 12 is nothing to really be excited about.
They're quick in an honest way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they
Very
get pulled
Necron
over. The
style.
cop just lets them off with a warning.
Right.
Staying out of 36.
My grandmother's in the hospital, sir. I swear.
This isn't like your old Harlequins where they're like, oh no, we only move 12. Twice.
With a 6-inch
And
advance.
then charge.
Yeah.
And then consolidate 6.
That's why you're having you're good. You look good there.
Good old Tyranids where they just hit that like
I don't
nitro
use
boost
snap, so I've
button,
been eyeballing all
and
Oh,
like
cool.
they're like tricked out
Cool,
Honda
yeah.
Accord
I'm
from like
confirming that you're good.
1995 with a wing that's like
range of Anric
the size of
plus
an
1
airplane
is
wing,
gonna
just like
go-
suddenly spouts fire and goes 250 miles per hour before exploding.
Yeah, off like a Move 6 model, right?
Yeah. They're on a sleeper cars, like the cops, you like watch them go by and they're like, oh, look at those normal family sedans. And it's like, no, sir. This car is all JDM.
No way.
Basically. Edric here is going
I
to.
want to give a big shout out to Tutelage for the subscription. Thanks, Tutelage. And I saw...
So they could go 13.
I think Garuda subscribed. Did I see that happen before? I did! Garuda with the subscription as well. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Helps us continue the content. And while we're speaking of people supporting the channel, and we're going through the
All the CP.
Necron phase here, just give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Whoa, look at that big advance on those rates. Holy crap, by the way.
Got places to be.
Woohoo! They just spit fire over there. That was incredible. That actually got them over top of the Termagants. They're like, move block this, idiot! And then jumped right over. That's a pretty decent spot for them to be as well. Makes that line of sight
Importantly, though,
difficult.
we're only putting 2 models on the objective itself, and it would be trivial to throw like another 3 Termagants onto 2. So unless there's a little bit of follow-up from the Immortals,
Just the one guy.
that may not guarantee that objective in the fall. Oh, now there's only 1 on it.
Well,
even worse.
So I mean, there's a couple things there, right? Like, this Termagant unit should all die, right? And that's what we're expecting.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like you have to be on that objective and holding it at the start of your turn. Like,
right.
I just mean to say that this does not ensure
Yes.
that the Necrons will be holding it by any measure.
You're not wrong. The rates themselves are objective secured, so you do need to actually have objective secured models over there. And the only other Gant squads are on the entire opposite side of the table. So, you know, theoretically they could make it over there. This is Tyranids. We can move anywhere we want on the table. But that requires your metabolic overdrive and your hive commander for that turn to maybe take the objective.
Silent King is
You slap 20 Gene Stealers onto those rates, and then you just have to walk 1 foot to get back on the other side of this wall here.
Yeah. You do have to. I mean,
That's a risk we were talking about before.
If you're the Necrons in this situation, like you're out threat so drastically by the Gene Stealers, you just gotta take it on the chin, right? You're gonna lose an objective for 1 to 2 rounds to Gene Stealers, and that's just gonna happen. You know, it's you just gotta survive through it. Fortunately, any of the models that are naturally objective secured in this with the dynastic code here count as 2 models for the purposes of holding objectives. So they have the sort of super objective secured on those guys, which means that the Immortals are actually going to be very valuable on that side. And it is sort of unfortunate, I think, that we're aiming to kill these Termagants with ranged attacks, because that means these Immortals are not going to be able to charge that objective and get in there. But it looks like we're about to burn those Termagants to absolute death with the...
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
Yeah, with those Tesla carbines.
Double explode.
Beep, beep, beep,
It's
beep.
not the volume of individual MSU. Well, wow, there goes those. Okay.
Oh, no.
I think we deselected them. Now they're just gone. We deselected them too.
Just respawn it. Alright, we're gonna pick them all up.
So unfortunately for the Necrons, there isn't quite the number of like MSU small guns in here to just pick the Termagants down to the point where you could pretty reliably throw the Immortals past them. So you really do just have to like throw that Spirit Bomb out of the Entomb Blades and just overkill them by 30 wounds.
Yeah, we're playing with big haymakers and out of this Necron army for sure. We are my will be done for the extra +1 to hit. Big benefit on those Tomb Blades is that they are core, so they do benefit from all of these synergies, which is super cool.
Freeze to wound.
Yeah, those are a lot of fails, though. I think that still
23
kills the
saves.
unit, though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's enough.
Kills all my Termagants, right?
Enough.
Put it back to me. 23 saves. Sheesh. Well, there's
An effort, though.
Charges. These rates are going to charge.
Had they been in
for
cover,
fast
they would have only
creatures.
been overkilled by about 5.
Mm-hmm.
See ya!
6.
Get out of here, Termagants. Get off of our proverbial cosmic lawn.
Canoptic Wraiths moving into the Sky/E Swarms. Canoptic Wraiths, 2 damage, so only need 2 hits through onto the Slashers, and I don't think they give, no saves coming out of these either, so... Not tremendously likely that they survive.
Okay. No other charges need to be made, so just activate with these wraiths.
It's like we just
They're all
kept the
gonna pile
Immortals
in.
kind of hanging out there. Suppose if you force an X-Crane to fire at them again, it's an X-Crane not shooting at something else.
Yeah, within a half an inch. Alright, so they're all gonna attack. It's 16 attacks.
Chat talking about the origin of the name
Encore.
Termagant. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah. You also look up Hormigaunt or Harridan or almost every other
Little
Tyranid made
fun
between
fact.
90s and 2010s.
Tyranids have a Biotitan
They do
canonically
not have info.
called a Dominatrix.
Good. Squish.
Good stuff. Used to be a model in
That's my turn.
Epic.
Epic. Yeah,
Um,
incredible.
Deposit
Epic.
score thing.
All right, so that
Roll
is
for you.
the turn. Looks like we are. Yeah, we got the
the
3 on
timer
engage for
went to
Tyranids. We got the
0-0.
3 on investigate site. Investigate sites.
Okay.
Excuse me. And then they reset
Hey,
the
can
clock.
anyone
Trevi,
check the
do
vo-
you?
Can you check the VOD and tell us what the time was?
Tyranid naming structures. While there was definitely a bent towards maybe someone was mad at their girlfriend, they reached pretty deep into that dictionary to find those back in the day. Now we have towards maybe someone was mad at their girlfriend. Thrope, and
Okay.
I don't know. Towards maybe some shoot-a-thrope.
The shooty throw.
There's like the biting thrope.
Yeah, players are gonna have to reset the clock here. Give me a sec, chat. I'm just gonna double check the amount of time. They were off by about a minute. That's okay.
Aging Trevi.
What happened?
They-
Do you mind if I fire with my immortals on your lictor?
Oh no, I accidentally right-clicked deleted it. I guess we don't know my time anymore.
It's just 5 shots.
I guess while we're here, we can reset the time as well.
I can see this.
Hey, I have the clock set again. If you guys want to switch colors as well, Raze, just click on the blue side right here, and it'll switch back. Yeah, there you go. Then you can click on the time on your own side. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, we're just gonna rewind back to a shooting phase and just fire these.
Oh, yeah.
Threes.
There you go. All right, everyone. We're fixed. We're back. Some technical difficulties from the chess clock. At least it's on the right side now, everybody. So
he -2.
the red clock is going to be on the red side. We're nailing it.
He gets
So we did end up taking
that goes to-
taking this immortal shot into the lictor. He does gain his +1 armor save for being in cover there from the obstacle, which is pretty nice.
So he just takes 2 then.
Puts him down to what, a 3-up?
Yeah, yeah.
So we caught back up on the top correctly.
Still
is that
managed to
right?
fail a few of those though.
Yeah.
It is your turn now, sir.
Yeah, but again, only 5 shots out of those guys, right? Is like not a ton of DECA.
Yeah.
I'm on primary.
It does, however, kind of imply that given with like one more set of those shots, this guy might go down, and you kind of need to be poking that thing for multiple turns in a row to fully score it out, right?
Yeah.
Liquor,
Chat, if you see this brown circle here, that is the 6-inch mark of the center of the table.
I can't go there, right?
So as
No.
long as the
this,
model
this
performing
whole thing is
the action stays basically touching that circle, it's good to go. And as long as none of the models scoring engage on all fronts touch that circle, then they're okay to score engage.
Lictor is trying to inveigle itself into a location where it cannot be fired at, and I think it pulled it off.
Well, for now. I mean, those Tomb Blades, they go for days. They'll get them.
Get him.
They'll root that Lictor out.
Yeah, I don't think I have a line on him right
Do
Even if I come
do Necrons have an orbital
I'd have to come
bombardment?
past that point to see him.
They don't.
I don't
right?
believe so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
So then
That's one of the fun tech options to counter this particular play.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we may... There's going to be plenty of options for the Tyranids to score this Investigate site, which I think is why it's a really good pick here. But obviously it's not unstoppable, right? Like, these Tomb Blades are going to be in a position to both contest the center of the objective so of the table so that you can't perform the action and start killing all of the models that could do it. This coming
Can you imagine instead of being within 6 of the center, it was your own back objective, and instead of doing an action, you just had to stay there for the game?
That would be a very good secondary objective. I wonder if any
That'd be like
factions have that.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if also it would have to be with a unit that has objective secured, and if like the faction had a bunch of easy ways to give really defensively powerful units objective secured.
Nah, they wouldn't. They
No.
wouldn't add all that together, though, right? Like,
No,
that's not.
There's no way.
No.
We're talking about new Dark Angels, everybody, by the way. Not pertinent to this game at all,
One, two,
but
No.
they're going to be powerful.
New Dark Angels.
Get ready.
Not legal for the next stage
Yeah, for
of
the
the
elimination
T5S2
stage.
Invitational.
Unfortunately, 1 week too late. I know Valdor in the chat there, he
one
was
CP double the run of the
crossing his fingers aggressively,
Yeah.
hoping to get
F's-
in.
F's in chat for
Right.
Valdor's dreams of a Deathwing finals.
Yeah.
This is
All
the,
Ravenwing finals. A bunch of bikes just mashing up against each other.
620.
Big advance off the... Thanks for the Womps chat. Big advance off these Hormigans getting into Objective 3 to contest that. I'm wondering what Tyranids are going to deal with Objective 2 using. It may just be Hive Guard shots. Your opponent doesn't control the objective if you just kill everyone touching it. In some way, Hive Guard do sort of have objective secured, given the fact that they can secure an objective by killing all the opponent's models that are on it.
Back guys, actually.
Yeah, they're kind of like how Repentia have objective secured by like just running up and exploding on somebody standing on an objective.
Yeah.
I mean, they also much like the laser snakes that the Hive Guard shoot. They also die immediately after killing their target.
Yep.
But you know, they cost less than the laser snakes.
Repentia, definitely one of the most powerful ranged attacks in the game.
Oh yeah,
It's
pretty respectable range on them.
it's a very
Not
expensive.
quite the 36.
It's a very expensive weapon upgrade to a Sorotas Rhino.
I'm gonna be able to get them all in for anyway.
I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of which, we are going to see some incredible sisters, I think, in the
Oh,
in
for sure.
the top 8 of the Invitational here. Ashley Thompson made it through with a 3-0 record. She is currently, we do have a current or a live standings on tts40k.com/invitational. She is number 1 out of the scoring, which makes a ton of sense given that she's also number 1, I believe, in the entire world, according to BCP. So congratulations to Ashley there.
Did Kianton also make it through?
Kian, it does not look like made it through. I think Alex Squires just barely
Oh,
beat her out
no.
on score. Yeah.
After the trubbishing that was done to Porciandox, like poor chaos there too.
Yeah, there was a really good game to qualify Valdor for the elimination stage. Playing against Kian, Valdor just had to score. It didn't matter what the result of the game was. He just had to score more, basically more points than she had, since Valdor's other games were so good. That Fire Raptor, turns out that sweet Fire Raptor tech is pretty strong. Looks like we may be angling for a second Hive Commander here.
And then this guy
Where would we be going?
come back like that.
This feels very aggressive.
These guys had a time to get more, so
This is, I think, going to be an interesting situation where having the Lictor placed on the table, it's going to be effective since it's going to be scoring those points on investigate sites. I mean, we're going to be 6 points in already, just 2 turns down. But a lot of times as a Tyrion player, you rely on the Deep Strikers to score your mid-game engage on all fronts. Like, before your fighters have committed, you want to drop Rippers and Lictors, all over the corners of the table to get those secondary objective points. And the Lictor standing in the middle is not really going to help do that very much.
No, what do you think about this engagement up front's pick in the first place? You think that might have been a little bit of a risk,
I think
especially now
that
that the Necrons have moved up. Like, I don't know how you get anything
run
into like the
them,
Necrons
see how far they can go.
corner by 2. Like, that
Any of them this guy
feels almost impenetrable.
there.
Yeah. A question in chat about the Necron secondary.
these
That's going to be
Termagants
Purge
are
the
gonna
Vermin.
run. Basically, I'm just gonna shuffle them around.
So you will.
This
The Necrons are going to score
6.
2 points at the end of their turn for every table quarter that their opponent does not have any models in. Which should be probably 4 points a turn, I believe, pretty consistently. Or is it the start of their turn? Now I'm second guessing myself.
This Exocrine.
Question also in from Jian Kun. Asking about sisters. Is there a way to look up lists in the tournament? Yeah, everybody if you want to take a look at the lists, tts40k.com/invitational will get you there. Ashley Thompson, Canton both played some incredible sisters all the way through Season 2 and in their group stage games. And probably two of the best sisters players in the world. If not, I think on BCP they're fighting tooth and nail for #1 sisters. But definitely places, a good place to start if you're trying to build sisters lists, 100%.
That basically, just gonna rotate.
Yeah, chat, we are currently going into round 2. So Percy Vermin didn't score for turn 1, but we'll get it this coming turn.
You want to be within 36.
I suppose engage on all fronts as a counter pick to purge the vermin. There, you're really desperately fighting for board supremacy at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Those two secondaries are just so deeply counter to one another and to both armies' game plan of just like removing the opponent from any place they want to be.
Yeah. And to the point of the engaged on all fronts pick, I think that's a decent one for Tyranids just in general. Like, even if it's not the perfect pick in any given situation, and honestly, the double Hive Guard list is not very good at scoring it. Or at least it's not the best style of Tyranid list at scoring it because it's very defensive. But given how quickly you can move Tyranid units, the Swarm Lord can just like rocket himself directly across the table to score it for a couple turns. The Gene Stealers are going to do the same thing. You pick up 10 points on Engage in All Fronts very reliably with Tyranids, even if you're not really trying for it. And I think that's what we're going to get here. It's like sort of a deploy scramblers pick. It's you'll get 10 points off of it. It's not going to be super exciting, but as Chad is pointing out, Battle Lines tends to be relatively low scoring because you're just going to scrum on the two objectives in the middle and knock each other off at every turn, so you're getting, 5 to 10 points on primary maybe. And securing those secondary points is going to be very valuable this game.
What do you think about Psychic Ritual on this map?
I love it. I think Psychic Ritual is great.
It feels like that would have been an excellent follow-up take there. Like, you walk the Swarmlord up, he's buddied up with the Lictor, you have to kill the Lictor first. I guess you don't have to, because the Swarmlord's 12 wounds anyway. And you just kind of pick up 15 points, and the Psychic Ritualing does not stop the Swarmlord from Hive Commandering, correct?
Correct, yeah. Yeah, the Psychic actions only take up your Psychic phase, they don't take the rest of your turn to do, so... Yeah. You can do other
Necrons
stuff.
Are kind of famously unable to stop you.
Right. We do have the, what's Ceres's rule? The Empiric Overcharger? Look out.
I think, within 12, all doubles are,
I think so. So if he touches that circle, he could blow you up if you're doing psychic actions.
It does become slightly annoying.
I think the downside for Tyranids, and especially in this matchup, because Necrons are so susceptible to mortal wounds, not only does it punch through their pretty good saves and defensive profiles. Like, everything in this army, for the most part, is -1 to be hit or has a 4+ invulnerable save, which is tough to chew through. But the mortal wounds don't care about that, but they also stop reanimation protocols, so anything that dies to mortals does not reanimate. Which means that not only do Tyranids want to cast all of their powers because they're typically very reliant on them just to support their army, but also they want to deal damage with them, and locking yourself into Psychic Ritual turns off 2 of your powers every turn on one of your most important casters. And this is not a list where we have an extra Neurothrope to perform psychic actions. We're only down to 3 casters, and I don't think the Tyranids can afford to give one up every turn.
That's true, though. I mean, and it could, obviously, picking secondaries changes the course of the game entirely, so, like, everything could have been different.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this Necron army is also playing cagey in a way to where the Neurothropes are being pretty underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, you're throwing Catalyst away, or you're throwing Symbiostorm away. Neither feels good, but you don't need the Symbiostorm to pick up Immortals.
Yeah, I mean,
with an Excrin,
I do think you probably use the Swarmlord early to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like so much free damage you're just giving away.
Yeah.
I would like it if there was a third Neurothrope in this
free
list, or there was a Broodlord or something else that you didn't care about casting quite as much. But it feels, for the most part, the 3 Tyranid casters are pretty useful.
That's all my shots.
Unrelated question.
To the,
Which army do you think will be the first to get a
Psychic phase, I'm
biplane?
gonna Start by Swarmlord.
It's
He's gonna
orcs.
Start by casting Psychic
You think so?
Scream.
Yeah.
I was gonna say either Sisters or
Goes
Admech.
off. It's gonna be D3
I guess
on
Admech
the
already
right
got their
circle.
got a relatively recent plane.
Take a
One
wound.
on these guys. And he's gonna cast Onslaught.
Sisters feel like a real shoe-in for like a biplane though.
Goes off. He's gonna put it on the Hormagaunts.
Yeah, so here's Swarmlord
I'm
casting,
going
puts
to
advance and charge into the
do-
Hormagaunts.
And
I think we're just
cast
playing to
Catalyst
move
with
blocking once again with the Hormagaunts,
Rope.
possibly trying to prevent.
Can't really. I guess you don't really lose much by casting Onslaught, but I can't really imagine that we actually want to charge the Hormagaunts into the race. The race will just kill them.
Back next, but I'm out of range of the.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with the decision
so.
here. Like, I
for
guess we followed
Catalyst.
this up with a Hive
Yeah,
Commander to
Catalyst.
send them somewhere.
Yeah, for Catalyst.
Is the plan maybe to try and kill the
So in
Immortals
that
with them?
case,
I don't know why you would try that
put,
though.
Yeah, they don't have the.
you put
Well,
Catalyst on.
We're not in range to Hive Commander them. It's only a 6-inch aura off of the Swarmlord, so they are way far away right now. I think we're just gonna try to
We not-
charge them into
oh,
grabbing
we don't
engagement
have-
off fronts.
Yeah, we don't have the power to move the.
Put Catalyst on this Exocrine here.
But I mean, I guess maybe if we tune up the Canoptic Ray Squad with the Hive Guard,
yeah,
the Hive Guard
so
shooting could knock it down to one or
nice
two
there.
models, and then you're okay with
Reroll that,
charging
right?
just to get that engage.
Then this North Rope is gonna put.
I suppose if you're gonna throw the power on there
Biostorm
anyway, you might as
on
well. And
Hive Guard.
if it comes to a board state where it becomes critically useful, then it just gained you a couple
that
of points.
fails.
And if you don't have to charge them either way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, I'm gonna use a CP on that.
Sure.
Okay, that succeeds. Done, and that is my turn of Psychic. Over to the shooting phase. I'm gonna use.
Looks like we have plenty of targets for
CP to count him as not having moved,
this Exocrine, or at least just the.
and that's it. Okay.
It's
Yeah, looks
just
like
the Immortals
looks like
currently,
just
I
Start
the
think.
Immortals,
by
actually.
Exocrine shooting into those Immortals.
Sure.
Picking out the double obsec is a
Blades.
big deal, though.
Yeah. Although you don't need any upside if you're just not sending anything to try and take objective 2.
Yeah, you're
I
not
get the
wrong.
feeling that until the Tomb Blades get removed, that flank is kind of a
Three
no-go zone.
wounds.
You killed
The effort
Nice.
might be to move something out there to bait the Tomb Blades out, and then try and trade the Gene Stealers into them.
See if he comes back.
That's difficult. Like, you gotta get them fully behind this wall, because otherwise that Overwatch is quite something.
Yeah.
Why don't they die?
The thanks,
Sorry,
Chad.
did I have
Um,
that
Yeah,
up? No.
The race
No,
you have,
it's-
yeah, they have
yeah.
a 4+ invulnerable save against everything, but the Hive Guard, especially the double Hive Guard, it's 10 total Hive Guard in this list, which means you're going to be shooting 34 times, 32 times. Like, it's just such a volume of shooting that you'll kill the unit with all the Hive Guard shooting at them.
I will see if any come back.
Yeah, like, every Hive Guard is basically a Basilisk.
It is like one
My God, nice.
I'm out of range.
third of a Basilisk.
No, those shoot D6 shots?
Oh no, it's like 1/3 of a battle cannon.
Well, those are also D6 shot, right? So they,
The Basilisk
They end up
they
being,
shoot
like,
they shoot D6 shots, but
3.5 damage?
they roll 2 and pick the highest, so it's like usually 5 or 6 shots.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like 2 of them kind of averages into the same shooting as a single Lehman Russ. Though actually better, though, because they hit on 3s and then have a bunch of bonuses.
They shoot as hard as 1 activation of the Lumen
Hive
Rust.
Guard
turret.
at your rates here.
There's no like I think super direct comparison. They're like I don't know, they're a Manticore, but their stats
Sorry,
are
it's 8 shots.
different.
So just have this bucket of Hive Guard here is about the shooting of
One.
5 Lehman Russes, I'd say.
Um,
Yeah, four shots. 4 shots
it's
compares
like
well
two,
into
it's
a
like 2.5
shots.
It's like 2.5 Lehman Rust, but it's indirect.
Saving.
Well, they hit on 3s as well.
Tank commanders do too. Let's be real. We're not seeing a Lehman Rust battle tank. It's a Lehman Rust tank commander.
Very
That's fair.
Looks like
telling you
the
about before the game.
okay.
If I'm at the bottom of my expectations, anything fortunate feels really good.
looks like the race just bossed
Yeah,
their saves
no, I
there.
feel that.
No big
Alright,
deal.
So back to me. I'm gonna shoot
NBD, dog.
NBD.
6 guard.
Well, now we don't send the Hormagods in.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we want to,
2.
yeah, just try to double tap and hit those guys
Send unit
again.
rates there.
Yeah, keep trying.
So this is the big
All it
one
takes
going.
is a save where you fail all of them, and then they go away.
Yes.
The red unit there.
Although you want one to be alive. That's the goal. Ooh, that was a terrible shot,
Horrible
though.
roll.
Yikes.
I mean, I think you would take just killing all of them too. I mean, you lose like
Yeah, that's true.
2 points, and you gain the entire squad being dead.
Ugh,
That's not doing it
boy.
though. That's
That
not
is,
at this rate.
yeah, that was not a good roll out of this high.
This
build
could still
unit.
do it. Fail 2. Not enough. It's 2 3s. Pick up 2, then maybe they both don't get back up. Nope.
Next one.
All right.
Yeah, we got one. All right.
One.
All right, everybody. Mission accomplished.
It's about to come back to life, though. You ready?
All right, put the banner up on the aircraft carrier.
Ah,
We're
no.
done.
Mission accomplished. Only down to 3 means that the swing back on the Hormagaunts isn't that bad. It's 12 attacks, so it's unlikely to entirely wipe the unit, but it probably gets close.
Use,
And then if you're down to 3 and the rates
this guy's obviously
pile onto the objective fully, there's a possibility of just like handing that over, especially if they kill all of them.
I'll let you do it this turn. It's fine. Yeah. Just because of the
I
unfortunate.
mean, I've
Non-commander Lehman Russ tanks were executed by the Commissariat for not being tank commanders.
Yeah, they like the Forge world that made the non-Lehman Russ tank commanders was just destroyed. It was on Cadia, like that's where they were all made.
And, shoot.
Yeah. Little known fact, every single like squadron Lehman Russ was from Cadia, and they were all there
That's
when
the
it was
red
blown
guys
up.
there.
All right, here goes. I think this is the
Probably why they
single-minded
lost that
activation.
fight.
Because they didn't have any standard Lehman Russ. All right, this is the shot we needed. Big reroll into a bunch of 6s, so we get those back for Symbio Storm. Yep. 3s to wound on the Canoptic Rays. Big wound roll.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there. Yeah, we
Yikes.
turned this shooting phase right around.
This is gonna hurt.
Well,
It,
could have been worse.
Never mind.
Could have been worse. And we reroll into a save.
Right.
As we've said before, Ray's he's got a lot of CP and he's willing to spend it.
Yeah, so 2 CP to kill 1 Canoptic Wraith. Wow, that was a lot of saves that we just saw there. He's not going to come back. But yeah, like you said, unfortunately, the Silent King unlocking a bunch of extra CP for you means that Raze did start at 13, and he just gets to use every stratagem he's ever wanted.
Hitherto unheard of numbers of command points here.
Yeah,
That
no
is all my
single
shooting
being has had
for
as many
this
command
turn.
points as Raze
We're
does.
going to
At least up until the double Tallyman Death Guard
Hormagaunts
goes second
and
and just starts out the game with 14.
Yep, go ahead.
okay, good on a 7.
Chat, I don't believe
Send them
that the
in.
Wraiths
1,
have
2.
guns. They have Vicious Claws.
They can have guns, but I believe Wraith or not Raze,
Basically,
he's Wraith-like, would never consonant
here.
such a decision.
Let's get these 2 guys.
Yeah, they can buy a gun. They don't come with them innately. Either a 2-shot pistol at strength 6 or a 1-shot 3 damage gun. But
You didn't say it all. A 2-shot pistol at strength 6 that costs 5 points.
right, with a 4+ ballistic skill, probably not amazing.
He moved 6.5.
Okay.
5.
It gets kind of confusing
And
when
I-
you just
I-
drop all of
So
all
here
of
comes
their-
the Hormagaunts with their big boy pile-ins. So they're gonna
Okay,
Looks
so I
like
still-
be
I
able
still
to,
have a pile in too, anyway. It's mildly charged.
grab that engagement off
So
fronts.
now I'm gonna pile in. We're gonna go up all the way to the wall.
Yeah, they just
I
gotta
mean,
suck
given the
it in there.
Hormagaunt 6-inch, the Hormagaunt 6-inch pylon, is it the pylon or the Consolidate that's 6? It's the pylon,
Both. They get both.
So there.
Yeah, so they're a-okay. If
Yeah.
they do finish these rates, unlikely, then they can just go anywhere. They can easily squeeze in though.
Could you imagine if they just killed their race right now?
Here.
No,
They're,
I
they're on a 2+.
can't really imagine a world where that would happen.
They're on a 2+ save through the wall. You just sink 6 wounds into them and kill them. I'm ready for it. Who's who's into these Hormigons killing Toucan Optic Race, chat?
Oh, this wall is also heavy cover?
All right.
All obstacle walls are heavy cover.
Swinging wise,
Would you mind
like
back right a little bit?
I replay that game against Fuccini.
All stacked on top
I just
of each other.
do even less to him now.
Xeno spotted.
all right, where?
Like here, this one,
Wait, all of his stuff had 2+ save anyway. Never mind,
this
it
one's
doesn't
on
matter.
top of this one. And this one's on top of this one.
Okay.
It's okay though,
there we
because
go.
once the Wraiths fight back, that'll give the Hormigons a 5-up save against their AP2 claws.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Exactly what we need.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Sorry.
Going to be able to fight, except
Do
perhaps-
1 or 2 Demacarons have a place in a traditional list? It depends on your terrain. If you can hide a single Demacaron in your deployment zone, you'll probably do okay with one. As long as you have Swarmlord. I don't think Demacarons are worth anything without Swarmlord. But
Or in the Forge World, they're worth like $220.
but if you can't... Hormigans with a terrible roll there. But if you
Reroll
can't...
ones at least worked out.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That didn't help though. That
No,
was,
it looks like we're not going to kill the entire unit. We could kill one.
Yeah.
Let's see it. Oh, we do 1 damage. All right, fair enough.
which will be healed back.
Yeah, but if you typically play with terrain that you can hide a single Demacaron behind, then I think that you're okay playing one.
Divas are about to get a lot better, right? Because of WTC walls.
Yeah, if more communities move to WTC, online is almost entirely moved to WTC style terrain, and if in-person play moves to WTC, then Demacarons are going to be incredible.
It could be like the Las Vegas Open, where every table is basically a bowling ball with one gigantic building in the middle. Then, I don't know, things get weird.
Fact.
That's in real life, though. No one else does in real life.
I get to swing. Oh no, you already swing. Everyone swung. So that's it. Okay, I'm score my rounds.
And investigate sites.
Two.
So a pretty successful turn here coming out of the Tyranids.
So
Necrons are going to pick up
that's
2
it.
objectives.
Over to you.
Looks like people.
got
All
it.
right, the giveaway is live,
Right.
everybody.
10.
Just checking here. Looks like a bunch of tickets have been purchased.
We're gonna.
Excellent.
Sweet, we're making it work. We'll see if I stick with this system for giveaways, chat. It's a little complicated. I'm not sure I like it, but we'll do it for today.
So this is going to be a big turn for the Necrons here. The Wraiths are going to have to pick from kind of a smorgasbord of targets. I suspect the Tomb Blades will suddenly blast out there, and then blast something.
Riao with the subscription. Thanks, Riao. Eve Pixie, what does WTC terrain stand for? WTC is the World Team Championship. It's basically the Olympics of 40K. Every member nation sends a team of 8 people, and they play
We're gonna. Oh, sorry. Pre-game stuff.
2,000-point games to 40K. Basically, team versus team, every player on a separate table, and they have a standardized set of terrain
Mine will be done.
that they use that a lot of places are moving towards, just because it's very consistent and very relatively balanced.
I would say it's the Olympics of 40K in the same way the Olympics is like the
Where's
Olympics
my
of
will be done
baseball.
coming from?
You know,
Sure,
it's there.
whatever you said.
Mine will be done.
It's there. It's weird,
Oh, not
and it's there.
Yeah.
Although the WTC now that they're not kind of doing their own crazy thing,
Yeah, they used to have their own
Probably a little more
format,
representative.
which is a little bizarre. But since they moved to G, well, in fairness, the 2020 WTC was going to use ITC, and before everyone, it was canceled, and then also everyone moved to GT for 9th edition. So they were moving sort of slowly towards what everyone else is using, which is good. But they used to have their own format, which is a little weird and wacky.
Charge if I want. Joe, let me fight first.
Yeah, their FAQ is pretty bizarre. That's true.
You have 3 bodies on points.
are we still using their FAQ? Wasn't the only thing in their FAQ that you couldn't resurrect like the Space Marine cars?
Oh no, they made up a bunch of their own rules. Yeah, like they have their own rules for measuring and how models get placed and all sorts of stuff.
Can you place big base models on tables with their FAQ?
Great question. It's a really good question.
Because I would like that.
Yeah, there's like, well, you can, but their their unedited table layouts mean that you aren't allowed to move them at all. So there you go.
These 2 blades are going to move 15.
What if their FAQ was just a word-for-word reprint of the Games Workshop rulebook, but without all the errors and missing sections?
That would be pretty good. It is not that though.
That's sad.
So we do have the Canoptic Wraiths pulling back off Objective 3 here. They're just going to charge back in since they fall back in charge. Tomb Blade's moving up to take cover behind that wall.
Just going to move up.
We'll see if the
imagine-
Wraiths on Objective 2 decide to move. I imagine that we stay relatively conservative on that side.
Gotta imagine this is going to be a pretty big turn for the for the Necrons should they choose to move out.
Mm-hmm.
This game is this is almost like a Harlequins versus any other army game so far.
Yeah.
It's just kind of overwhelmingly cagey, which makes sense. But both armies, and by both armies I mean entirely the Necrons, are really setting up to eventually pounce over these walls and try and deliver some sort of hammer blow.
Yeah. Now
The Tyranids have to move up at some point.
I do feel that we may be babying Sarek a little bit more than we should. Although we do have While We Stand for both of these players, so they are both incentivized to play very cagey. That said, so far, it looks like the Tyranids are doing much better at... Although I think we should... Oh, we'll probably score 4 points for Purge the Vermin this turn, I guess. And we should have scored 2 points for Vital Ground, I believe. But the Tyranids so far have been able to play this defensive game with their secondary objectives a little bit better, given that they're up currently 11 points on secondaries, which is a pretty big deal. And I do think that we do have to sort of commit pretty far as the Necrons in order to get these big punchy models stuck in. And I'm not sure that keeping Sarek outside of the range of Hiveguard is really where we want him, because honestly,
They're finding other valuable targets.
right,
And
they're shooting at your objective secured. If they turn around and sink everything into Sarek, you might lose 5 points, and you might lose like your late game anchor. But that's like we talked about before. That's if they sink like 2 or 3 entire rounds of shooting Hiveguard into them, and your Canoptic Race just gets to run the board for free. Like, I think we might need to get this guy stuck in a little bit faster than Race is currently moving him.
Agreed. I think we've both said in the past that Raze feels like he's a little too precious with the Silent King. He's not actual royalty. He is a piece of digital plastic. I mean, he can die, so long as it serves the need of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're out of range anyway.
You know.
Doesn't matter. They're only
And from atop his throne up there, there's a risk of just watching his kingdom burn.
Yeah.
these 2 blades are fine where they are.
I think Raze may have also been expecting maybe a more aggressive play out of the Tyranids themselves.
Yeah.
Outside of 36 of the back unit.
It could also be a late game play to really just get that 15-point primary on turn 3 or on turn 5.
Right.
And maybe you just actually want to be as cagey as possible and just pull it out at the end. But you are right, like, Purge the Vermin is not currently working out in the slightest.
Well, it'll work out just fine.
Shooting.
Like, you should score 4 points a turn on Purge the Vermin, so it should be 12, a 12-point secondary. And there's not really anything the Tyranids can do to stop you.
Blades at your Hormigons.
I mean, are they stopping it
No, you score Purge the
pretty
Vermin
successfully right now by
at the
just
end.
taking the Hormigons there?
You score Purge the Vermin at the end of your turn. So the Necrons just have to kill the Hormigants on Objective 3, and they get 4 points.
Highly unexpected Tomb Blade charge into the Hormigons. Okay, that's not what I saw coming. I thought those
get 'em.
Hormigons were going to survive.
Nah.
They might still. These guys are not great in combat.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But you also have 2 Wraiths there, so, you know.
7, which is plenty.
Well, I mean,
One against the wall here,
they killed, what, 5 before?
and then this guy's gonna go right
They killed 4.
be able to kill the whole unit.
There's 5 off the board here.
Assuming this is within a half an inch, which it should be. Yep. Looks good.
It's true.
Okay. Oh, active command.
I wonder if we had some proxies in there. Is this a larger unit, larger than 10 units? All right, we are back, everybody. So the way we decided to handle this situation, the 2 Hormigants were deployed on the table at the start. Whether or not that was a mistake on Ben's part or not, I don't know. What we've done is essentially docked the 10 bonus primary points for him from this game. if anything else pops up, obviously we're going to deal with it more harshly. But in this situation, he's going to be 10 primary VPs down, and we're just going to continue on from the gain state, and the players are already continuing to play. And
That actually puts Necrons in the lead then.
yes, yeah. So essentially, yeah, at the end, we're just going to pull 10 VP off the Tyranid score. But don't play with extra models on the table, kids. That you can't do that. Yeah, I don't care whether it's a mistake or not, but that is a big no-no.
And with the model scrub through the previous games too, because I mean, even if it is a mistake, and that could very easily be a mistake. I mean, 2 Termagants out of the full number is 2 Termagants. Like that's or Hormagants. That's it's easy to do. But these armies are also typically saved into an army file and then played in every round.
Right.
So it's quite possible that this squad had over its the above board number in like the last several rounds of play, and possibly in quite a few of the games leading up to the Invitational.
Yeah, chat. It's a while we stand, we fight right there. Yeah, those two Termagants are the 2 while we stand, we fight targets. There you go. It's 2 Termagants and Swarmlord.
And while it doesn't seem like it matters that much, I mean, like that unit was going to survive, and that unit was then going to be holding that objective for 5 points.
Yeah. An additional 2.
So that was pretty important.
An additional 2 objective secured models in your troops choice is like a pretty big deal.
Yeah, especially with the game
in a
state
close
as
game.
it just existed just now, because it looked like they were down to 1 or 2 that had survived that close combat.
Yeah.
That may actually push Tyranid Ben into a much more aggressive stance to having the need to start reaping back those points and really start to try and push the Necrons out and punish them for their slightly more docile play, because that's now at the big deficit.
Right. Yeah, essentially we're putting Tyranids down to 21 versus 36 or versus 26. And that's at the top of Tyranid round 3. So
Yeah,
they've already
it was
scored
going
their
first.
primary points this turn, yeah. And that's what we're seeing right here. This is some aggressive play. Here come the Warriors. Fortunately for them, fighting through that wall on Objective 3 is going to be pretty helpful. They don't have the enhanced resistance, but the heavy cover is going to actually keep them. They do have blue arms. That's where their adaptation went. They didn't get enhanced resistance, but they did get some sweet sleeves. But at least they are, for Tyranids, they're a relatively high base save, so getting heavy cover in melee for those guys is pretty good.
Kind of like that scene in Starship Troopers where they all went and got matching tattoos, except it's kind of like in the reverse. It's like the bugs all went to their local tattoo sack or whatever and had new tattoos kind of put on their arms.
Yeah, chat, you don't get heavy cover if you charge. That's correct. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure these Wraiths are gonna die to Hive Guard shots this turn. The Hive Guard are like, second time's a charm, right? Here we go. Baboo! Get out of here.
You think they fired the Wraiths and not the Tomb Blades?
Yeah, I think so. The Wraiths are much more dangerous in melee. The Wraiths can also fall back and charge, and the Tomb Blades can't. So you can engage the Tomb Blades and just hang out with them for a bit.
6.
Yeah, that is an incredible downside to charging the Tomb Blades right there. You cannot fire Overwatch, and you cannot really do much of anything sitting there. That is probably the best opportunity you're going to get to charge them.
Okay.
The big squad still being kept cagely back in the corner, but what would be the upside of triple charging a Gene Stealer squad into that Tomb Blade, or triple moving the Gene Stealers into the Tomb Blade squad back there and trying to just snag them right out?
Well, it's only a double move. Ray's positioned his model so that the only legal charge that the Gene Stealers have currently is the orange Wraiths, at least on the side of the table with Objective 2. He was
They
very
can't,
careful to
they
leave
can't
everything
move.
36 inches out.
They can't move then Strat then Hive Commander for moving 3 times?
The strat doesn't allow you to charge afterwards, so you can move 3
Oh,
times, it just doesn't
no.
really do anything. Hilariously, though, if you use the Kraken stratagem for the double advance alongside the metabolic overdrive, it actually quadruples your advance roll, which is pretty sweet. So they would move 16 plus 3d6, pick the highest times 2, and then times 2 again. And you could Hive Commander them, move another move plus d6 inches. Incredible. So much speed!
Dude, Lich mentioning the fact that you, in the basic rulebook, you get heavy cover if you are the charging unit, which was certainly not what they intended. It kind of makes no conceptual sense.
Right.
But it's the same rulebook where they rewrote lookouts are, 3 times in the public. There's quite a bit of rewriting that's been going on in there.
Yeah, 9th edition rollout, maybe not the smoothest thing
Something I forgot to do.
in the book.
If you get 3 different army packs before you get the first codex.
Yeah, I forgot to do that. So now you have 6 CP instead of 5.
Did that third one ever actually come out? The one where you use your own terrain at events?
I believe it did, just to no fanfare.
That's still too much fanfare.
Oh, we did get that sweet mobile app. Thanks for reminding everyone, chat.
Oh yeah. They released much acclaim and awards and happiness by the community. They released their app. You just go to Battlescribe, you download it. It works great. It's updates very quickly. Has very accurate information. It arrays it very well. Just
Run my Gene Stealers.
just go on that app store and you type in Battlescribe.
To 4, 8, 12.
I think the thing that surprises me most about that mobile app was that it didn't have a pay-to-win tower defense game inside of it too.
Yeah, you'd sort of...
They have enough of those.
You'd expect it to have, Warhammer... it comes free with a copy of Warhammer 40,000 Regicide.
They couldn't pay me to install
that... that game that's just chess, but it has Space Marines.
That angle.
It's like if the Space Marines were fighting Chaos Space Marines, the name would at least make sense. But aren't they fighting orcs?
Yeah.
So what's the regicide?
The war boss. Gotta get that guy. Get that biggest boss out of there.
Yeah.
Did GW have a vestige interest in keeping the rules vague? At this point, it feels like it.
Alright, that's all my movement. I have to drop my Rippers this turn.
What do you think about that?
Who's ready for a Gloctopus action, chat? Here come the Rippers.
I'm excited.
Ooh, don't put them there.
Rippers.
Do we Gloctopus these dudes?
Yeah. Why not? You're gonna bring it in anyway. Might as well bring it in your opponent's turn. Oh, okay. We're gonna put it there.
You bring it in your opponent's turn, then it just gets shot to death after shooting some Rippers. Who cares? You bring that in, you slam some Gene Stealers when the time is right. Can they land otherwise? They can just land, right? If you
Yeah, it's just in
he just
deep
comes
strike.
in.
Yeah, you pick them out of whatever the name of their deep strike is, like trans-dimensional teleportation or whatever. Oh no, don't put it back there though.
Dimensional teleportation.
Back there's the worst place for them to go. Uh-oh.
I'm not going to. Not going to do anything.
Oh, not gonna intercept. All right. Well, there you go.
Nah. You save that guy. That man has
Alright,
one job,
so
and it's to
that's
kill
it. Over
18
to
Gene
my
Stealers in
second
one
phase.
shot.
Swarmlord's going to cast Onslaught. It fails.
What? The Gauntlet? The Gauntlet kills 4. The pistols, I think, averagely kill 3.5. Shoot again for another 2. So he clipped 9 out of that squad right there by himself.
And 5. Off. Put on the Warriors.
Or he just lands and kills the Ledger. You could just finish that off too.
Make sure I'm within cast that. He's done. Over to this Neurothrope, he's gonna cast Catalyst. Good, I'm gonna put that on my Gene Stealers.
Catalyst works on melee too.
Then this. That Catalyst is a 5-up field, no pain.
Oh, I was thinking
Throat.
Storm.
Storm? Yeah, no. This
It
guy's
can be
got
tricky,
some Wild
Valdor,
Storm.
but they've already moved out. Anywhere that the Gene Stealers go, I think
fails.
that they'll be within 12 inches of a wall.
It's okay. Okay, over to. I don't think.
I suppose 12 within 6 of a wall.
No. Over to the Obviously, sorry, this guy's doing the same exact thing. He's not going anywhere.
And the pistols actually have an 18-inch range
Okay.
themselves. So you
Alright,
could
so
configurate
shooting
the
phase.
Stealers
I'm
and
gonna
then
start by
possibly
launching my
shoot
Gene
the Lictor.
Stealers.
Might be hard because it looks like
Wow.
he's just past the 24 point on that side, though.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start by and my Gene Stealers. Okay, so 12. Hopefully like that.
It's like we're smushing the Stealers up, trying to take a hammer blow into both the Wraiths and Immortals.
12 like that. Boom. Okay. All right, we're gonna start by shooting these 4 Hive Guard here. Actually,
Red?
let's go these 6 Hive Guard here into your Red Wraiths. Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to step away for a sec, so I will leave you with Shuma.
Rolling 1s.
I can finally vamp.
Yes.
and
Free to
rolling down
vamp.
3s. Okay,
4s
just
to save.
4.
And I'll spend a CP to reroll that fail.
Oh, gotcha.
Nope. D3 damage.
Being very careful to check
3.
the clock here. Juna Ben's down to
1.
36 minutes
Okay.
already. Over an hour left on the Necron clock.
My unit of 4 Hive Guard. Gonna shoot those Wraiths. So drop 1, 8 dice. Rerolling 1s.
It's true. I am much like the 9 foot tall vampire lady in
Conversion. Oops.
the newest Resident Evil.
And
It's kind of all I
threes.
do is vamp.
Okay.
Oh my god.
4s.
Yep.
2d3 damage.
First one.
Kill the
Is
wounded.
that
Once
guy.
again, Hive Guard not acquitting themselves well,
one.
firing at
This one.
Wraiths.
We'll see if he stands up.
Mhm.
He does not.
They net killed 0 there because one
He's not.
did stand back up, I think.
Neat. Okay, over to I'm gonna use 2 CP and shoot my Hive Guard again. We are going.
Tyranids
to-
rapidly running themselves low on CP. Just enough left for a fight twice on the right side of the Gene Stealers, if they don't spend any more in the shooting phase.
Put 3 of them into the red guy and 3 of them into the orange unit over there.
Okay.
So into the
Parsifal,
guy.
so that is for maximum efficacy out of the Strats and Symbiostorm. You're a little bit more at risk, especially off of
Shitty.
some specific D3 blast
One.
weapons out of Imperial Guard, like Basilisk.
to me. D3
I guess those are D6. Those are just Manticores. Manticores shoot like, what, 3D6?
kills him.
It's kind of, there's not a lot of blast weapons that really take advantage of it that are shoot outside of line of sight, and you really want
Oh,
the
that's
6-man
me,
squad
not
so that
the
you can put
enemy. Okay, and then
Symbiostorm
onto
on
the
there
other
and then
unit.
double fire them. And just really get the most out of your resource spend.
That many.
I am back.
And 3s.
Thank you for
welcome back.
vamping. Appreciate it.
Valdor appreciated my vamping quite a bit.
D3.
1. D3.
Kill him. Does he stand
One.
up? Nope. We're gonna pull the one that's closest to your Gene Stealers.
Alright, done. That's my shooting phase. Over to my charge phase. I'm going to charge
Yeah,
my
are there any
Tyranid warriors
Out of
into
line of
Twin
sight
blades.
weapons that
Alright.
really care about squad sizes of 6. There are a lot of D3s, but they tend to all be
8.
grouped in like guns that are sets of 3 or 4 shots.
We're gonna
Basilisks.
go
Are those are D3 or were those D6?
Back
They're D6.
guy, front guy,
Yeah. So they don't care that much. I mean,
there.
it's a little better.
Yeah.
But it's not like plasma inceptors go from shooting like 0.5 shots to 200,000.
Yeah.
There's like kind of no out of line of sight equivalent to that because there are a lot of D3s, but they're all clusters of single weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They like shoot multiple D3s, so thus they don't end up doing anything.
Yeah, it's sort of an awkwardly implemented mechanic for that reason.
I was thinking like the Mechanicus hovercraft, the disintegrator, but that's shoots like 3 D3s, so that's already min 3. The Manticore is already 3 min 3.
That's right.
What even else is there? There's a lot of D3 blasts, but it's all direct fire.
Venom cannons are D3 blast. I know that
Yeah,
one.
like that.
And heavy mining
Yeah.
lasers.
Well, they're all direct fire though,
Oh,
right? It's
here,
anything that was the
Gene
equivalent of
Stealers
like
are
an old blast template.
A small blast, yeah.
Yeah.
The 3-inch one.
But they kind of
Ooh.
buffed up.
4.
Bad
Orders
roll
to
on
make
these
sense.
gene stealers. Oh, they do
not what
exactly
you wanna see,
make
'cause-
it.
Because I don't think you reroll that either, because we're saving the 3 CP for the fight twice.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
Like that, we're staying an inch out from those guys.
Why aren't Manticore missiles blast? They are. Chat.
Yeah, they
The big rockets.
fire. Is it 3D3 shots?
They're 2d6 for Manticores.
Oh, they're 2D6. Okay.
They're blast. They just never get to use blast because they're flat 3. Like they're strength 10, flat 3. You just never shoot them at infantry.
Yeah. Also, since it's 2D6, I mean your minimum is already 2. So if they're squad size 6, your minimum's 3. So that's unless you roll literally a double one, it doesn't benefit you at all anyway.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like we're going with the gene stealers first. It makes the most sense. But yeah, that bad charge is going to limit a lot of the
Yeah.
the volume we can get into these guys. Looks like
I
might
think
be
what the hope was to snipe out most of the wraiths and then fight twice into the immortals.
well. We didn't charge the immortals, so I think we're hoping for a wrap on the immortals to at least force the desperate breakout. Again, not that
Oh.
Reyes doesn't have a lot of CP. Blast isn't
That
on
feels-
data sheets typically, chat. It's in there's a document somewhere that has all of the old blast weapons. Anything released in 8th edition or before would not have blast on its data sheet. It's just in a there's just a big list of every weapon that has blast in the 9th edition core rules.
It was added in an FAQ.
Yeah, just your pointer top of the light post. That's why it's
Like it's not even in the rule book.
I think the rulebook has like an index page with it.
It is in the book.
Yeah, I remember
Oh.
looking at it when the book came out. People were sharing the picture around.
Swing,
All I remember is that it's not in. It's organized in alphabetical order, not by army.
Yeah. Fireball
So it's just
423.
awful.
TTS40k.com/maps has the season 2 map pool on it. The season 3 map pool is a little bit different. That's going up as the maps get completed in the Discord. !Discord in the chat if you want to join.
You can also find those on the workshop by just looking up, I believe, either Trevi or Tactical Tortoise, right?
Yeah, they're in my workshop, but it's if you look up Trevi's theme workshop, you can find it, but it's I don't know, less consistent, I guess. So it looks like we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 in. 6 in, 7. I think we get 7 in.
Well below the number you need.
Yeah, that's not gonna
At
do
least they
much.
At least they can't spend 1 CP to make it so that only the front rank can fight.
That would be brutal.
Can you imagine if they added a strat like that?
That would be pretty insane.
He's out of fighting.
So if you've got a
I
unit
have,
that has a very
1, 2,
like a very
3,
small
4
surface
with Rending
area,
Claws, and then
but like an
3 without.
incredibly strong defensively.
Just,
Mhm.
sorry, Acid Maws, 3 with Rending Claws.
This third guy is not within an inch, and this guy's not within half an inch. So just 2.
Guys, oh, this guy's not in half an inch here? Okay, so these
no.
2?
Yep, these 2, and then we'll give you all 5 of these.
This guy's within half of this guy.
The backs of these wraiths look like they have sunflowers on them.
This guy's in, but this guy's
Yeah,
over
yeah,
here.
yeah.
is out.
Those are canonically
You're right,
sunflowers.
go ahead.
4 and 3.
No, they're
4 and 3,
canoptech sunflowers.
4
Canoptically.
Acid Maws. Be 16, and then blue will be the Rending Claws. 3 of those. So it looks like that. And hitting you on
Launcher, you don't want all
3s,
flamers to be blast
hitting you on
weapons.
5s.
'Cause you can't shoot those in close combat.
All right. There it
I
goes.
guess, what's the AP on the Rending Claws?
So the Rending Claws are minus. This one's actually minus. It's all going to be on your invul. They're minus
heavy
1.
That's not the
Everything
roll you
is
need
on
to
your
kill a
invul.
lot of wraiths.
I have heavy cover against the ones that are behind the walls, so I'm on a 2-up save there. What's the normal AP on
Yeah, we didn't. Ben didn't split his. Did we pass
Minus
the
1 on
coin?
regulars.
They're on 3s then.
Rock, that joke didn't
Okay.
do psychic
The
damage.
rest is on 4s.
Necrons don't have psychic powers.
Okay, I take 3, you kill 1. Which one do I want to kill?
Mhm.
It doesn't really matter. We'll kill the back one. And then we'll see if he stands up. He does not.
So 1 wraith went down to that swing.
All right. So then over here with my war.
Did
sorry,
it go down?
Let me consolidate.
Yep.
Apologies.
Okay, it stayed down.
I might interrupt just to get on the points. I don't think I can get more guys on the point than you, though, so go ahead.
Don't think I can quite get in this quadrant anyway, so it's not too important. And go like this, like that.
At the very least, these
Like
Steelers
that.
are catalysted.
Go to
So
It's 2
1 in
damage.
6.
2 damage
Yeah.
weapons on the
Mm.
wraiths, though.
there. Go to there.
They
It
don't have-
essentially makes it becomes like a 6-up. Feel no pain at that point because you have to roll 2
essentially,
successes.
Yeah.
This guy.
Not the maximum number of attacks they could be swinging, so it's only 12 from the unit.
Okay.
We don't lose that many
Over
Gene Stealers
to
here,
You good, sir.
and like the Immortals
It's
don't
one
really
and
punch
nine.
Sorry,
them
you're not
very well.
interrupting?
No, I decided against it.
You're not interrupting there. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so I have
Like, with the-
a 5. Yeah, 5 Rending Claws.
I think Sisters are actually kind of weak to Tyranids,
Gonna
ironically.
be blue this time.
Saw a chat talking about
5 of them.
Sisters of Battle.
D6,
Yeah, I feel like they have anything that kind
5,
of,
and then I have
through some contrivance,
you
gets
guys
around their
with
play
4
of
attacks
Repentia
because they're
or like
warriors and they have Scything Talons.
Ret-
So that should be
Rets
my attack
basically
there.
blasting a single thing off the
Those are rerolling
table with one
ones.
shot. Has
Yeah.
like a good shot into them.
Yeah, essentially any way you
Threes,
can interact with them
minimum
without
fives.
having to move into their threat range is
Very
good.
So,
Okay.
cover,
3
I think also a few others like Slanesh Demons specifically actually have a very good match into them.
you kill a bike. Does that bike stand up? It does not.
There's like a few standouts, and they mostly do it through contrivances that ignore the 2 things Sisters are amazing at, which is Repentia charges and like long range melta bombs.
Yep.
My turn. The fight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pile in. So, what do you?
We'll start with these Immortals. This back guy's gonna pop.
Like good time management from Ben here, just electing not to play around with the pile-in on his Tyranid warriors. Like he might be able to potentially pile a couple onto the point, but is it worth like the time spent? Probably not.
On 3.
You already outnumber even with the Devil Obsec, you're already outnumbering them on it anyway. He'll just pull from models that are not on it.
Yeah.
And they're all
Minus-
gonna die to Tomb Blades right afterwards.
Lose a guy. Oh,
Yeah, that epic
Okay.
two-blade fight phase profile. Look out.
lose a guy.
Well, I mean,
Alright,
right
well,
afterwards being
that's
the
from
following
the-
Necron shooting phase.
Wraiths. On 4s. 2s. 3 more saves. Sorry, you don't. You have a 5 up, right? Invulnerable save in
Yep.
melee.
Say 1, and it's 2 damage or 1?
2.
Okay, so I'll reroll any successfuls.
Ooh,
Okay.
there you go. Made
Lose
one with
one.
the catalyst. All right, only 2 Gene Stealers down.
They're not going to consolidate anywhere. They're fine where they are. Well, I guess I could go like 3 inches like that. Okay, if you're done, you can pass. The
Downside is they are on the wrong side of the tracks right there.
I'm
engage for 2 and investigate sites.
engage for 2. All right, sounds good. Let's see. Wait, let me pause it. Yes.
All right.
Engage, right? Yep. Oh, I have the guy back here, so 2.
That's why I said 2. So I get 5 primaries.
Okay, sorry, I hadn't added
By
it yet.
pulling back these bikes, so there's gonna get behind this wall, and I'm gonna end up putting 4 guys on the points. I think. Yeah. Well, I guess 3 is enough, but we'll do all 4.
What's he doing?
He's falling back.
Oh,
Alright,
okay.
mine
I
will
thought
be
that was
done.
just like final
Lich
consolidation.
guard,
No,
get
no.
+1.
We are
Any living metal.
over to
Nope.
Necron's turn.
Any living metal on these bikes. Also, nope. So bikes fall back.
Time may become a pretty big
search
factor in this game, in addition to
self,
potentially the scoring.
warriors.
We are down to only 25 minutes for the Tyranids, whereas Necrons have almost an hour. Just-
There's
Whew.
quite a bit left on the table. So this is the maneuver I was wondering if he was going to try and pull, which is tagging the Exocrine with these
Yes.
wraiths. And then you just walk around the side with the Immortals and then fire 100 trillion shots with the Tomb Blades.
Yeah, I mean, the Gene Stealers are much like Repentia. They're very much a one-shot wonder. Fortunately, unlike Repentia, there's 20 of them instead of 9, so sometimes they
Yeah.
survive. But yeah, I would imagine that they almost all die this turn, especially since we have the Hexmark Destroyer in reserve as well. And he has this like gorgeous space where he can drop probably between the crates and the building by objective 2, where he can be protected by the Lich Guard and then also shoot like half of the suited up Gene Stealers to death.
I think he really wants to get within 12 though, right? So he can use the relic.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be that far away, right? Like, he can just be somewhere around these crates, and then also the Lich Guard just move up like 2 inches to protect him. The Lich Guard also, they're bodyguards as well, if I remember correctly, so they just make you immune to attacks. They don't even lookouts are for you. You just can't be shot.
What do you think of the Lich Guard kind of just so heavily being reserved in the back to just permanently look out serve for all of these characters? It's like a big expenditure, especially with Anarchy the Traveler also just kind of like being dedicated back there. He's like 140 points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, certainly this is an objective that is never going to be taken, but it feels like it might be a bit of an over-dedication.
Yeah, especially since Reyes clearly wants to babysit, or he wants to baby Sarek for as long as he can to get that Wowie stand. So you could run out with the Lich Guard unit. Although they also get hit by Wowie stand, right? So I guess this is just an objective worth like 20 points because it's all your Wowie stand targets. If there's one thing that those Lich Guard don't want to do, it's like walk into a big Exocrine activation and then like have a flub roll and I'll die. That would be brutal.
X-Mark behind the Gene Stealers, which I kind of like.
They're not, so I guess
This means that if either he or the Tomb Blades kind of like flub their roll and roll low, you're not really losing the other's fire.
He's just dead,
I mean,
though.
and then
How does he not die this coming
Yeah,
time?
but who cares?
Okay.
Well, who's gonna kill him? Is it gonna be the Exocrine who's gonna be engaged by the Wraiths here? It's gonna be the Swarm Lord running out of range of everybody for Hive Commander just to tag that guy?
So there's a non-zero chance that the Wraiths die to one shot from the Exocrine, and he gets to plug another one into the Hexmark, which probably kills it.
Given
Unless
what
the
we have
dice
seen
go
so far,
funky.
though, chances are that Exocrine somehow just creates a new Pit Wraith instead.
Yeah, I mean, might not be wrong. Okay, so we are spreading out the Lich Guard. Looks like those guys are just going to be the backup plan for Objective 2. Assuming that these, I mean, there's probably not a world in which these Gene Stealers survive.
Certainly not whatever planet this is. What is this, like Mercury?
Yep, exactly. You got it right the first time. So there is a position that the hex mark could be placed in base to base with the obstacle in the center. Oh no, yeah, where it has line of sight to a couple of the Gene Stealers on the other side of the wall.
Well, it has to flank on, right? Because it's not teleporting right now. Or was this placed in such a way as where it's just deep striking normally?
I believe they just normal deep strike.
Because there's the strat for it. I thought they just otherwise just walked around.
No, they have dimensional translocation, which allows them to
Oh.
deep strike as if you were, any kind of deep striker.
There you go.
So we get,
So we should have
there's
18
a
left.
of 20, so 18 shots. We're starting with the Gauntlet of the Conflagrator.
All right,
I
here
don't
goes
necessarily mind that position there.
here goes the Gloctopus.
3.
Hits
Yeah.
3 with the gauntlet.
Conflagration already.
Blam, blam, blam.
They are catalysted, so this could just
minus
swing
1
pretty
AP, is that
low.
right?
This is,
So yeah, I might as
Did we
well.
refire it here? Was that a
These
pretty
are
low
5
swing
feel
too?
no pains. Fail 3.
These are
Oh,
okay.
fail on all that,
Absolutely.
so that's about the average you're gonna hope from there.
On 2s, 3
Um,
rolling 1s.
It's gonna be devastating if his pistols overfire though, and he kills the remaining. Uh-oh. The Gene Stealers could opt to take this on their regular armor saves.
They're T4.
Okay, then 3s. 5 saves.
I don't think the catalyst is optional though, if I remember correctly.
It's on my clock right now. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
No, I don't think any such damage prevention is.
So they're actually like sort of hilariously slightly hardy to this. Also, they
What
made
is
a
the
billion
Necro-
catalyst rolls.
Okay.
5 up
One.
on
There you
melee
go.
only or ranged and melee?
Range is just a permanent.
Okay, and
invuln.
you do not have to
one more
double
shot.
fire the Hexmark Destroyer. So if he had killed 4 and left 1 there, he would not have had to
on a 3.
shoot them 4 more times.
Fails to wound. Then we'll shoot this unit of Tomb Blades.
Yeah,
at
it looks
him.
like he's not going to double
It's
fire,
30
so we're just
shots.
going to take the Tomb Blades at him. They have cover against
Yeah.
the Tomb Blades, which is a little awkward.
Sounds right.
Do you Solar Pulse here? I think you do, right?
I mean, you've got the points to spend.
No, I guess we're not.
Got 9 CP. Alright.
Yeah, I definitely would have dropped the Solar Pulse to keep the ones
Yeah.
that make sure the other ones on the other side of the wall die.
Well, maybe it's not necessary.
20 saves.
That's
Actually, they tanked 20, I
No
think.
AP, right?
that's like 40 shots. Oh wait, I thought that was
No,
that.
that
a
was the
mid-roll?
wound roll. That was the wound roll. I don't
Oh.
think these Gene Stealers are going to die. Uh-oh.
Oh.
We have to put them down to 5, though. If they're 5, or if it's just 6. So we only have to kill like 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
fat
6, 7,
guys.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Beyond
For them to
14
stay
then?
within the Swarmlord's range, they would have to stay within charge range off of the Canoptic Wraiths, which is definitely not the direction they want to be running in right now, because they want to tag that Excrin, but it's definitely worth it to
Yeah.
keep the objective and finish them off.
3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So that looks like 3, 6, 9, 10. Fours. Okay, lose 6.
That's fine.
So I got 4 guys left.
It was
five?
only 5.
Okay, so
Yep, 5 more saves.
I've died. 5 more saves. Okay, so 3 more dead. So I've lost 8. I have 2 left. Take 2 more from here because I'm still getting 4s on these.
Are we not rolling our catalyst?
They're good.
That's what he's doing. He's rolling them 2 at a time.
Well, this is armor saves.
Okay, got 1 left.
That's why they're saving on
the
4s.
last dice.
Oh, is he rolling them
he's
1 at
good.
a
So I have lose 9 here.
Because
doing, like, 2 dice
because
at a
only
time.
half the squad's in cover.
Uh,
9. At 9 right there. 3, 6,
well.
9. Yep.
They're low enough that the Immortals control the objective now, so it doesn't really matter.
Alright.
did they just
How about
move?
me? Do I
Did he
better-
pick up casualties outside of the Swarmlord's range?
More shooting.
There's a guy on the other side of the wall, close to the Wraith, so I think he's fine.
Actually,
Um,
we'll put blood.
Looks
at least
like
one men here can shoot them.
Yeah!
Yeah, the other
Just hyper vaporize that one guy. Aw.
And Saros
Did he roll?
can shoot them himself as well, so we
Yeah.
can probably pick up a few more.
no. On your Ripper Swarm, number 2.
Let's see, there's a question in chat about how the general atmosphere of tournament games are. Generally speaking, if you're playing at like an RTT, your local event, they're going to be pretty laid back.
yeah.
You do have a, you will often have a time crunch, so people aren't there to like just sort of hang around and, and chat or whatever, like they would in a casual game or just a practice game. You are there to play 40K and they want to make sure that they that they get all of their turns in. But other than that, like, people aren't, jerks. Nobody's there to be mean to their opponent or whatever. Occasionally, and especially sort of mid tables, there's people who like take themselves very seriously and are I don't know. That's where like the weirdos tend to be. But and on 99% of the games that you play at a tournament are going to be relatively laid back. I really like tournament games. I think like the people are generally pretty sweet, and then also there's no faffing around, which is also good. So the games get done real quick.
The expectation is set by the format too. Like you don't have to. There's no risk of like one person bringing a thing that accidentally beats the other player, and then there's bad feelings. You don't have to sort of like do the performative pre-gaming that kind of more casual games have. I've honestly had far more toxic kind of casual games that I have ever had in tournaments.
Generally speaking, like the quote unquote that guy is usually a casual player, because a lot of times tournament players like do not let people walk over them like like sometimes you have in a more casual setting, and that's where that type of person who takes the game like very seriously for no reason, that's where that person tends to thrive. The people who play competitively most of the time, 9 times out of 10 are very realistic, about their play.
It's also a community, right? Like you see the same, like if you go to tournaments every weekend, you'll see the same people there over and over again. Like you'll say hi to the same people. Like it very much, it's kind of like going to the same friendly local game store,
right?
Just with a slightly longer drive, maybe. And like you play enough tournament games, you just sort of get into a mode where you're playing tournament games, right? It's like you're not trying to mess with anybody, you're trying to play the game.
Yeah, and generally also, we talk about this a lot typically when this question gets asked. Generally, the people at the higher end of the competitive scene, you'll find that once you get to the top end of competitive play and you're playing in finals and you're playing in undefeated matches, the games actually get more laid back because the players are on the same page, and no one is here to put a ton of like time and money into playing Warhammer to be mean to their opponent. Not to mention the fact that most of the time, if you're playing someone who is very good at Warhammer, like they don't need to try to get one over on you to win because they're usually very good. So like you play against like I don't know, like a Richard Siegler, and he's not going to be like trying to gamesmanship you because he's probably just going to beat you because he's better than you.
Speaking of being better than you, look at this. Look at this wrap here. Look at that 2 inches.
Can we confirm it?
Wasn't this guy basing? Wasn't one of these guys basing here?
This is like a ye olden inch, where an inch was actually like 5
But
feet.
either way, I can't.
Okay.
I can't stay in coherency. And
I think we can still lip the back of the Exocrine's base though. Probably.
It's like how in the Bible, your average human was like 26 inches long,
Okay,
but actually they were like the height of giraffes.
that is your turn, sir. I will get another 4 on
We also almost killed this Exocrine.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention as
swing
well.
Back with my,
Did 8 damage to it with that fight somehow.
He gets D3 attacks. 1, 4.
It's definitely gonna
chat.
seriously impact its ability to shoot back.
The tournament pods in the Discord, ! Discord, if anybody wants to join, we run tournaments all the time. The tournament pods in the Discord were very much designed to replicate an RTT feel. So if it's just like playing in a pod, 100%.
wholly
right?
within these 2.
Is it wholly within?
Yes, wholly within.
One thing you
Totally
can do with a
within.
pod though is go to that
Okay.
Brazilian barbecue place
like the-
afterwards.
Fact.
Engagement fronts. So your turn.
I mean, I guess you could, but like,
You get 5.
I think pod games might
You're like by
feel more
yourself.
competitive because the lists tend to be very competitive, but I think like the atmosphere is very similar.
Fearless, at least.
There's also
Uh,
the format of one-on-one online play is definitely different from the format of one-on-one play when you're in a room with 40 people.
Yeah.
These guys are gonna go. Guys are basically just gonna come around here a little bit like this.
On the Discord, oftentimes, especially if you're not inside of a pod and you just play a pickup game and start streaming it, people will just pop in, and you can start getting conversations going. It can be pretty chill.
Yeah. If you are in the Discord and you are jumping into somebody's stream, though, don't Definitely don't
If not,
unmute
just
don't unmute yourself unless somebody talks to you first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah,
to note,
sometimes games are inviting a conversation, and sometimes you're just talking to people.
though. Yeah.
These gaunts here are gonna run.
So we're back to the Tyranid turn. Only 5 points on primary for Tyranids for this turn because those immortals are double counting for objective secured, so they are currently holding this objective.
For sure, dudes. Pods feel a lot more competitive than in real life play. Like you.
Yeah. And
The
honestly,
zero investment and time to switch to more powerful lists means that no one is running their, like, I don't know, what's like a fun meme army? They're like Catachin
for
all
me,
infantry list.
every GT I played in 2019, I played with Tyranids, which at the point where GTs were being run was just a free win. I
hated that. They put me against you every time.
I won against every player that I did not that wasn't playing Space Marines, and I lost against every single Space Marine player that I played.
I wasn't playing Space Marines.
I think almost for the entirety of 2019.
Throughout the entirety of 2019, Trevi would just drive me to tournaments so he could punch me in the stomach in the parking lot. And then I would just come in like 4th. The worst one was when when I started playing Demons, then you switched into Grey Knights.
I did. Just for you.
We were driving to the same tournament every time, and I knew you were there, like either my side of the bracket or the opposite side every time.
Yeah, that Grey Knight list. I did not lose a tournament game with that Grey Knight list. In person, I lost like one game online in a competitive event.
Didn't I beat you in friendlies with that once?
Oh yeah. I mean, I lost in practice games all the time, but competitive games I never lost.
I was trying hard.
So, I'm interested that these Neurothropes are moving so aggressively forward. I guess they are going to be trying to knock these Tomb Blades off of Objective 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, given the orientation, he can't see the Immortals, and he's staying out of line of sight.
Yeah, but
the Tomb Blades, or the likelihood to somehow die maybe from the Hexmark.
If you sink 4 smites into the Wraith unit, it's a pretty good chance that the Swarmlord, or that the Exocrine kills it with its first shot and it frees itself.
Well, it's bracketed now, right? So it's suffering multiple minuses to its shooting.
No,
it's a heavy weapon as well.
It's dermic symbiosed, so it's
oh yeah, so it counts
doubles
as double.
yeah, it's an Iron Hands Exocrine.
If we had gotten one more swing in.
Yeah.
I can do it. It's probably here.
Yeah, Corvin, after playing a few pods, you could win a Las Vegas
right? It's not the line of sight
I'm
point.
just checking the line of sight so it doesn't pass underneath the building.
Gotcha.
Yep, that looks good. It was 35.8.
Ooh.
From this point right here.
Exactly.
Okay.
I got an Exocrine exactly into those Tomb Blades. Gives it something to do after it dirts this entire Immortal unit, I imagine.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, killing the Immortals, we're probably just going to run the Gene Stealers into Objective 2, but in such a way that they can score engage on all fronts.
I imagine this Hexmark Destroyer is going to survive, though. I don't see anything that can take the time to shoot at it.
They're our Hive Guard, right?
I mean, can they take the time to shoot at it?
Yeah, I mean, Reyes has been very careful in leaving the majority of his army out of range of the Hive Guard, which means they have nothing else to do besides absolutely super-duper murder this guy.
Okay.
Poor Gloctopus. He's about to get killed by laser snakes.
The psychic phase.
I mean, they're not going to shoot into the Tomb Blades over here by 3? Or are they still engaged? They're not engaged right now.
No, they fell back. I don't think we're going to need to shoot the Tomb Blades. The Tomb Blades are probably just going to die to smites and warrior attacks.
Okay, so Mighting Tomb Blades goes off. Deeper. Ooh.
Okay, we'll kill the one that's closest or visible.
He's going to cast a Biostorm, and he's going to put that on my Exocrine. And then this guy is going to cast go over to. Actually, we're gonna go over to Swarmlord. He's gonna cast. We're gonna do the Neurothrop. A Lancer, smiting. It does not go off.
Interesting we didn't just do Swarmlord first. He has the least consistent smites, so a lot of times you start with him just because you want to get the 5 off to cast with Swarmlord. But I guess maybe we're more highly valuing these Tomb Blades right now because the Swarmlord's going to go in with his melee on the race anyway.
Wherever the token is, over to Swarmy, he's going to smite the dudes in front of him.
Might also be the idea, the conceptual
fails,
thought
and then
that
he
the
can
Excrin's just going to
in front
blast
of
his
him.
way out. Like, the Excrin plus the
Succeeds.
Swarmlord should just be able to shovel claw their way.
Yeah, I
through all
guess
3 of these.
if we're not trying to free the Exocrine, then Swarmlord, like, those races are going to die somehow.
Over to the shooting phase. I'm using
Hashtag
1 CP to
Free the Excrin.
count this guy's not. Oh, did we pass the turnover? I'm just to get.
Yes, we
Was I
did.
at 2? Oh no, that's correct. No, we did. Okay, cool. So,
You need to actually pay for it.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm
assuming
gonna-
you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay 1 CP on this Exocrine, kind of as not having moved. And that's it. So, starting with this Exocrine is gonna shoot into the race in front of him.
All right, here goes the Exocrine shot in melee.
5s?
You know, bad. Yeah, 4s, because he's. Let's see.
Mid bracket.
Minus,
is
he's
on
degraded.
5. So he's sitting on
He's supposed to
6,
skill 5 right now. So 6s, yeah, 6s.
and then he gets +1 for not having moved, so 5.
Oh no, hold on. He counts as. Hold on. He's counts as having double
Considering spending all
the
of our
so he counts as
points
having 8
on
moves.
Alright,
So
then
he's still
sitting on-
then he's not
Slide.
bracketed. So 4s. Yeah, 4s. 3 rolling ones.
Oh,
And
Bonus.
2 more. These all miss.
Oh,
Same thing
just
again.
kidding. 3 1s to wound. That Exocrine is not digging its way out of this fight.
alright, this
little
dice is just
lag
2d8.
spike
He's
there.
not box. There we
Okay,
go.
so- And then these are on 3s. Oh my god.
Nope, definitely rely on the Swarmy here.
I fail. It kills the
Okay.
wounded one. Does he come
There,
back?
guys. Yep.
Why don't they die?
Almost saved himself.
Okay.
Both of the Exocrines have
Me.
Dermic Symbiosis shot. Yeah.
And then that's that shooting. Over to this Exocrine is going to shoot into those Tomb Blades over there.
-1 to hit for.
When the weather's really like cold and dry like this,
Shadow
I feel like I have
Their
Dermic
natural-
Symbiosis.
Actually, just kidding.
Maybe
Just
whatever
that.
it's called.
Excuse
Yep.
me, Chad. Just that Exocrine has Dermic Symbiosis.
Oh,
The other one does not.
4s.
I think I
and no
misremembered.
explosions. 6s
Yeah.
would have
His name
exploded,
is
but they do
McDermott
not.
Symbiosis.
Sorry, wait. That 3 does not hit.
Dermic Symbiosis is my
Force.
middle name.
That's correct.
So
One
wound.
one
Minus 3.
wound.
Is it a -3?
Minus 3. Flat 2.
We're just going to kill one of the bikes that doesn't have a shield vein, and we'll see if he comes back.
Good start for that reanimation. Oh,
not.
we got him.
Get back to me. Alright, so then he's going to shoot again. Because why not?
A single casualty though, that's like pretty light.
Yeah.
Reroll 1.
Yeah, especially
hitting on
given how good the
4s.
profile is at killing these Tomb Blades, assuming you get the hits.
Oh,
Oh, these
God.
wound rolls.
Exocrines are
One
just
without a shield vein.
What a
someone
terrible,
asleep right now.
what a terrible unit. Who would play this?
Who would play these beautiful,
It is not.
wonderful boys here
Dun, dun.
with their phenomenal stats?
Formlord is going to punch himself.
Classic Hive Commander on Swarmlord. Now Raze is just hoping he makes an ungodly number of invulnerable saves on these Canoptic rates, which, in fairness, he has done before.
4.
Yeah.
We
I don't even
had-
know if it's an ungodly number. If it's now time for like Swarmlord to punch this one. 5?
Yeah, we just need 1 to survive, so he probably converts 4. He just needs to make 3 out of 4, probably, is what happens here.
It's like a 50-50 too. I mean, he's looking at just looking down the barrel of a
Okay,
CP
over
spend.
to other shooting.
Yeah.
I'm
Roll
gonna
one of them anyway.
shoot-
You're not wrong.
That's if the X-Crin does not just shovel claw himself back out there with his powerful limbs. that guy has plowed many a model of mine unexpectedly with those big hands.
Yeah. Yeah, Chant pointing out
It's these 4. Hive Guard into those 2.
4++.
Broskies here.
Mathematically
Let's
better
do-
than the
let's
3+
do,
invulnerable save.
3 into the Immortals
Yeah,
and
by
1 into
far.
these Tomb Blades.
There's like a bell curve on the value of invuln saves. If you get all the way down to the 2+ with like
Portals.
the Knight Shield or whatever it is on
No, 3s. 2
Drakari Archons,
Oh,
like
the
they fail
the
that the
shadow
first time you
shield.
roll one.
There it
Yeah, they fail that 100% of the time.
Back to me. And one dude was shooting into the
Nice
columns, hitting on 4s, hitting on 3s. No wounds.
And no one's rolled above
these
once
6
today.
Here.
Yeah, that was a
Gonna
split
go
shot from the Hive
into-
Guard. Nobody's going into the Hexmark Destroyer. All right. I guess he's just gonna
Aha!
continue his
Knew it.
his
I'm
rampage.
gonna put
He's gonna kill this Lictor at this point. Is the Lictor finished his job
3
though?
into,
we
three into
followed up on
these
that?
Tomb
Or not?
Blades.
No, it takes all 5 turns to get full. on it.
4 into these Tomb Blades.
Yeah, so that's
and,
that's a casual loss of 6 points right there.
2 into these Immortals.
Assuming there's nothing else we can put into
Okay.
this guy.
Yeah.
So into
We already
those
spent. We
Immortals.
haven't spent for the fire
Plus-
yet. Maybe we just
oh,
spent
I
2
can
and
shoot your Hex Mark,
finish him
can't
off.
I?
Correct.
Put two into your Hex Mark.
Here to Ben just looked at.
Oh
his
yeah,
numbers.
just
And,
just
4 into
noticed
these
him up
Tyranids.
there.
Sorry, the Tomb Blades.
Stay strong,
Okay,
little
into the
buddy.
Hex Mark. Rolling ones. 3
I
hits,
believe in
I
you.
would presume. Just try to
Awesome.
win
strong.
Jeez.
1
6
win.
up. He takes it. D3 damage.
That's it.
These freaking wound
Maybe
rolls, man.
3.
Can't get away from them. 2
2.
damage on the Hexmark. That's not enough.
He's gonna get one of those back too.
And then
Also,
into
no one attacked the Immortals.
their dude over there, the Tomb Blades.
This was what a miss of a shooting phase so
Roll.
far from the
This
Tyranids.
was-
Oh my
This
god.
has not been the turn that was searched for.
Yikes.
Would you mind re-rolling that? Because they have -1 to hit against shooting.
What a great
Yeah, I
unit
rolled
the
those were
Hexmark
4s I took
Destroyer
right
is.
there. I dropped off the 3
You
there.
grabbed a 5. You grabbed a 3.
Wish I had this guy. I would take this guy
Correct, I moved
every
the
time.
3 off
He's so
here. I
good.
had the 3 there. Moved it off. I had 6
Uh,
moves.
No, you actually did grab a 3. I was trying to stop
Did I?
you.
Did anyone see that? Okay. Did I end up keeping it? Okay. You want me to re-roll it then?
Yeah, yes, please. So you got 6.
Okay.
Dang it, man!
Oh, I did it again. Sorry. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Just 1.
1 minus 2, so 6.
Yeah, I did not see that roll.
He saves.
Toodalip's saying that there's a
Alright,
button on the roll
then
map that shows
let's
the last
see.
5 rolls.
2 CP, is it worth it?
I am unaware
Okay,
of no
just,
such button. That'd be good to know. Is there one?
see.
Oh, there is!
F it. I'm gonna use 2 CP.
Look at these little tiny
And
buttons
we're gonna
they've added
keep them
next to the
again. We're
box.
gonna
Yeah,
do the
there's
exact
also a
same
record
thing.
in chat as well. The
We're
in-game
gonna
chat.
put 3 into the Hex Mark.
I mean, that thing's like...
Done.
Yeah, that's inconsistent though.
If you have rerolls, that thing becomes really hard to understand.
Right, right.
3 in the Hex Mark. Just 4.
He's dead.
No, Valdor, the
Did anyone?
Tesseract Vault is the
Hey!
most underrated unit in the Necron Codex.
We got him with the double tap.
Should be 6.
No!
Goodbye, Galactopus. You've glocked your
Our
last,
hero.
puss.
-1
But I
hit.
did 6. Okay, so there's 2. 2 wounds.
-2. 6 is to save.
Valdor, life is a journey of discovery. You should always be learning.
1. Me. Damage of.
2
Kills
kills the
1.
bike. See if it stands up. It does not.
Mhm.
This one.
Yeah, I don't know if that Hexmark Destroyer has failed to
That's,
do immense damage
all
in
my
any of Rice's
shooting,
games.
charging is someone's gonna try to race over here.
Thanks, chat. Get a sad
Good.
trombone
Just
for
gonna-
Galactopus.
like
Is it gonna be
that.
ever worth taking more than one of those? The second
Uh,
doesn't have the relic.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe if you're trying to tech to like kill a bunch of
and then,
orcs or
these guys are gonna
something.
charge into your
Yeah,
Tomb Blades
but
over
You
only-
here.
hit hunters from hyperspace twice in one go.
Yeah, only one of them really
5.
makes use of all of the anti-deep strike tech. So
Go.
I guess like having one start in your deployment zone to stop people
Wall.
from coming in, and then being able to drop another one to screen, like sort of pseudo screen out another
Yeah.
place, but they're expensive. Yeah, I think just one's probably fine.
Across the wall. Fuck it. I think I have to. Here. Like that. Like that. Space
It's
in there.
I think it's kind of, it's like soft anti-sisters.
3 will probably be out. Back
Like
there.
it's good against the sisters who are relying on strategic reserves, but like, who's
it should be
doing that still?
I mean, it's
no
the
matter what.
flappy
1,
sword ladies.
2,
You see them.
plan.
Do you? Well, they just deploy. They're fast, so it doesn't really matter.
He's out. He's
Prevents you from having to suffer from Repentia outflanks.
5 in by chance.
Nope. So it looks like these 4 and this one.
So, from here.
I think it's good. I think specifically it's good against like orcs just because they kill so many
So
bottles,
these
right?
4 and this one.
Yeah.
Like one Gloctopus kills like
Look,
10
look
boys
at the
every
ones
time it shoots. Like
separately,
blah blah
because
blah.
they cover from the one.
It can do over 20 if you do the
So the one
correct pocket
is
where it
this
manages
guy,
both intercept and overwatch in the same go.
is heavy cover.
He's got shining talents.
Yeah.
No, he's
Or
got the
does he?
rainy claws. He's got the rainy. The blue. The
Okay,
blue's
yeah.
the rainy claws.
I guess it could tech
Misses
be good into
everything
blood,
anyway,
like the Blood
and then
Bomb
I
as well,
have
2 running claws, 2
1,
shining
2,
talents.
and that's very
Two
common,
running claws.
especially since people like to take that in bricks of exactly 20. So you land and you're denying them their +1 to hit as well.
and those are scything talons.
Whoa!
Rerolling this
What a
one.
hit roll.
Oh, that's not.
doesn't
I can't
reroll,
reroll
yeah.
that because that's a.
Imagine if that was a
rending.
Tesla weapon.
These all hit.
Yeah. Holy
And
crap.
then you on 5s.
That'd be brutal. Oh, that wound roll was sad.
And these are
So 3
talents.
from the 3 from
4.
the talons, correct?
Take a wound.
It's 1 wound. Okay. All right, so that's it. They're gonna
We also failed to kill the
stay
tail blades.
there.
Yeah, that was a terrible roll out of those Tyranid warriors. Unfortunately, Toughness 5 is really a tough break point for most Tyranid melee stuff, so
Yeah.
we got a lot of Strength 8 and a lot of Strength 4,
Attacks back.
which is,
You wanna swap the time.
you know how it goes.
There we go.
It's
This is a very
4
unfortunate
attacks on
turn all
range.
around.
Oh my god, I can charge.
And wounding on 3s or 4s because they're strength 4. 2 saves, no AP. Do you have an injured one? No. So you can take him on heavy cover.
All right,
So it'll be 3s
heavy
to save.
cover.
Oh wait, no, you charge this turn, so you don't get heavy cover. Sorry, 4s.
Okay, so how many was it?
Just 2. Alright, you're good.
I guess that's it. I forgot to charge my Gene Stealer, so I'm an
So-
idiot.
Nids do have 7 minutes left. That's correct, chat.
10.
Swarm Lord gets to fight.
Yeah,
Hold on.
That
That's
is
kind of important.
pretty
Yeah,
scary.
It's getting tight, but
There's an active chance here
It's
that the Wraiths kill this Excrin.
7 swing.
well, Swarm was about
tail.
to kick the shit out of them, so that's okay.
You get 6 plus a tail, right?
Oh no, maybe not.
Sorry, 6 plus the yes.
Not like
I got
this.
that wrong. 6 plus the tail. 7
there you go.
total. Hitting on 2s and wounding on 3s. Yeah, 3s.
Yeah. 9.
So these fail.
Oh, that's yeah, that's
35.
gonna kill them. It's
Yeah,
also
they're-
a 3
The
mortals
sixes- the
afterwards.
sixes
Yeah,
are
they're good.
mortals.
Yeah.
It's flat 3 damage.
Can't even
so
receive
it
your roll
doesn't
that.
matter. The unit's dead.
Flat
Yeah,
3.
you
So
just
it
kills them.
doesn't matter. Yeah. Gets them anyway.
There you go.
And then whatever was problem like that. Okay. You get to swing back at me.
I already did.
You already swung. Okay.
Can you imagine if Sarek, the Silent King, was just up here mixing it up at the
Complete
same
your-
time?
So I'm just gonna
Just getting
get
full use out of himself.
In fairness,
There.
did force
get
the Hive Guard to
engage.
put basically.
Just my Gene Stealers.
We just
So-
ruined their effectiveness, at least for that last round of shooting. Not only did they roll terribly, which isn't fair, but also like the stuff that they're shooting at, they're not very efficient at killing. They're -1 to hit the Tomb Blades, which means they only hit on 4s. They're also only wound on 3s and not 2s into like a 5-up save that sometimes they flub damage on, like into reanimation protocols. So like it's just awkward to kill Tomb Blades with these guys.
And they're out of CP now, so Zarek can much more safely move up, free of the worry of getting double shot into, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's only 1 turn left for the Tyranids, right? So Sarek can just like bullet up the table. They can shoot him with 10 Hive Guard shots, or 24 Hive Guard, and that's not going to kill him. And he's like, whatever.
I'll
And then he gets a whole turn to do whatever he wants. We only have to complete 1 turn for Tyranids, chat, and he just did a 7-minute turn and is about to lose some models. So, like, I think he's probably okay
So
finishing out the game.
my
It does look like, I mean, the score's tied right now. We do have 10 points that are going to be docked from the Tyranid score at the end. So basically, they're only going to get 5 from while we stand if they... looks like they're angling at getting the full 15 anyway, so... They're looking at 52...
6 inches of the Silent King.
Assuming that their warrior unit survives, they'll get 10 on primary on the final turn.
Not sure if I can stay on the.
So that would be at 62 if they can score, engage, and
To be the unit of
investigate sites, which is possible.
Yeah, so they're not gonna get the.
That's another 6, so 68 we're looking at for Tyranids.
Ceres is gonna move. Just gonna move.
On the Necron side,
Warriors, but staying outside of 36.
they are probably just like, they just get donated a 15-point turn on the bottom. Plus their 15-point while we stand should clinch it for them.
If the Tomb Blades could also just pop over, pick the Lictor right off the table, and
so they're outside of the
finish off the Gene Stealers, leaving the Immortals in relative safety.
But still, shoot this one Gene Stealer.
I mean, does he care about the Immortals right now?
You're good.
Mortals are gonna. Just,
I think we just need to move these Lich Guard up. And that's
nah,
that's what's
fine
going
where
on.
they are. They can
Well,
charge easily.
I mean, if the Gene Stealers aren't there for the Lich Guard to make a charge into, it might be difficult for them to get onto.
yeah.
There goes those plans. Okay, start with some shooting. These 2 blades are all going to shoot at your Gene Stealers.
Enerkir, the Traveler, could be shot at now.
2 die.
These are the blue ones.
On 3s. Okay.
Oh my god, that was a Tesla shot? Holy crap! This is
Look, these
4
four-
Gene
These
Stealers.
4 Gene Stealers are going to pay for what they've done.
Squish.
It's fine.
Just the most gratuitous overkill. Oh my god. Those Tomb Blades like burnt out the capacitors in their Tesla carbines.
Die, scum!
Shoot
Yeah, they like ran out of ammo, and the guy just literally ripped the gun off the side of his like bike and just threw the gun itself.
This is
Yeah.
epic.
Alan Foster sobbing. They're already dead.
gives
Dino
it,
spotted.
gives it a new meaning to the phrase Bug Zapper.
make 2 in both.
Jesus.
Okay, 2 3-ups.
Disgusting.
Eat
Oh my
Bob's
God,
gun!
Friggin' explodes into smithereens. He's dead.
Oh, 1 Neurothrope
is that
down as well.
The rest of the shots will
Yeah.
do
Yeah, we
one
played
damage
pretty
shots
aggressively
first.
with these Neurothropes. They don't give up points when they die, given the secondary choices. So really, all that they're doing right now is being like a kind of okay investigate sites
And 3s, 'cause
action performer if we need them to.
7,
They're the backup for the Lictor up here.
Okay.
How's
Sorry,
the
where's
backup
this-
to the backup
this
doing?
is
Is
the
Lictor dying
Warriors?
here? Or is he okay?
I think
Okay,
he's
so
fine.
minus 2,
There's
I'll
nothing
put
over
him
here that
behind
shoots
the
him. He
wall.
might die next turn, but it doesn't matter. He'll have completed his duty.
How much damage?
I'm surprised
Good
it.
job, Lictor.
I guess we
You
want
scrambled
the
even better than the normal scramble.
He did a 15-point scramble this game. What a boss.
4s to 3s to 5s, so I say
Or he will have done.
I lose 1 guy.
Unless we like sink a Manier onto the objective with a big charge or something.
This guy's down to 1. Back to you.
Right, and then the 2 damage shots.
How good to be that guy's just so full of himself. He's like, yeah, I did it. And then this like weird floating surfboard pointing up just like hovers around a corner and slaps him.
Yeah, that's like he's having the
in the
time of his
background,
life. It's like, oh, I'm investigating all these sites. Look at all this stuff around here. I love it. And then he gets
It's like a giant fly swatter. It just comes down and literally just like lands face down directly on top of him.
just gets atomized.
And then we're gonna. Oh, these guys don't get it, so we're gonna charge with the Silent King into the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
He goes.
He's like a
9,
month
I'll
from
take it.
retirement.
That's
too.
enough. Ouch.
And here's getting in.
Boom! Big
let's
charge
get it.
off Silent King. Here he
Crazy
comes.
guy.
Okay, and then we'll just fight with the Silent King.
Mhm.
Blar, blar, blar,
So
you got a guy
Scythe
Oh,
of
they're gonna gun
Dusk
zone.
coming in. What are the cooler names for scythes in the game?
on what?
Those guys are guns on me, I take it.
The
Nothing,
Meteor?
go ahead.
Okay, hitting on 6s with the
So what's that
Moyers.
new like Death Guard relic though?
Nothing.
Hmm.
And then we've got 3 swings with the
Vomitorix?
damage 1 weapon.
No, the
They all
scythe.
hits. It's
I don't know.
strength 5. So
It's like the Reaper of Glorious
nothing.
Entropy.
Cool.
Of course.
Then we'll do my 6 attacks with the damage 2 weapon.
That
Looks
one's
like
the coolest
the,
shape
I
size.
think the Scythe of
This is
Dust
strength 8.
entirely whiffed.
5 saves
So-
at -3.
That's fine.
CP of
It's 3.
-3. Okay, I can't save that.
So it's
Have
2
you ever
damage,
tried to, like,
kills 1
scythe
warrior,
Dust.
kills
Like
2
that's
warriors, kills
it's not a
3
good way to
warriors.
clean your home.
Then we'll swing with the Scythe of Dust, which is 4 attacks on 2s. Wounding on 2s because it's strength 9.
Leave this guy. Up these.
You ever hovered your mouse over a triarchal menhir and just like
And we'll
looked
roll
at
one.
like the War and Peace like list of
Ah,
abilities
I
they
really need
have?
to kill that whole squad. It's fine. 3 more die. They're flat 3 damage.
Incredible. Look at those
2 more die.
abilities.
Okay, so
I love it.
these 2, I guess. These 3,
Validate
excuse me.
The Silent King does have
Take it back.
incredible profile at killing specifically Tyranid warriors. If anybody can
And
do it,
that
it's
is
him.
my turn. I only get 2 for
Unfortunately,
Purge for
they
Vermin this
provide
time.
their own synapse, so they're not running away.
I
Uh-huh.
also got
Until
And,
some
unlike
one Death Guard guy comes in and takes
No.
away from them.
I killed them this time.
Yep.
or from like 2 feet away, a Dark
and
Angel
that's
guy
my
just like
turn.
thinks about it.
All right, we are back to Tyranids.
Get
I
5
needed-
primary.
Need one more guy to survive there.
So at least we kept objective 3. I mean that's
so,
that's
yeah,
big
I'm
for
not
the score
gonna
here.
Catch you here, unfortunately. Not even.
That was not this. Losing that would have been
regardless
devastating.
Irrespective of the so the lictor's just gonna stand here, I guess.
Yeah, so there's
Get
not
you
much we
one
can do
injury.
here.
Secondary.
Kind of
Yeah, 3
hilariously, the Lictor
Maybe
cannot
I'll
both complete deploy scramblers or investigate sites and score engage on the fronts because you have to be outside 6 of the center on one of them and inside 6 of the center on the other. A little
I'm
awkward.
only gonna get 10 here.
You could Hive Commander yourself over here for engage, right? Move the Exocrine. How far does he go?
Yeah, tutelage. Basically, any
Goes,
effect that is
9
like a
plus-
radius measurement is an aura.
So he could go.
So that includes like synapse. It includes
15 and
vehicles
go 15
exploding.
and go 15 again.
So like the Dark Angels guy can interrogate a rhino hard enough that its engine won't blow up.
The outstanding question is whether or not attacking a model is an aura.
Yeah, your unit engagement ranges.
Right.
Okay, so,
Like, can you shut off the auras and then just start ghosting through enemy models?
Yeah,
sorry,
Tyranids only
I
have
forgot
objective
3
1,
guys.
chat.
Yeah.
Objective
They don't
3
have
is
So
currently
you can use,
controlled by the Necrons.
So let's see what he does.
Oh, then again,
Don't they
he's
have
only one we
more?
stand,
Oh,
right?
there is a single OPSEC plus 2 models. You're right. I
Yeah.
had that completely wrong. I always forget it's not
probably.
number of
Honestly, I
OPSEC,
don't
it's
think
number of
I
total.
would do that.
Yep. The Triarchal Maniers have come in for the victory on that objective.
They're basically just
look,
flagpoles. I mean, if you look
I
at them,
could get engaged. You're gonna get
they're beautiful.
you get 10 next turn. I don't think there's any way I catch you regardless. So you can just
Alright,
talk
so
it out.
we'll assume you kill these.
Yeah,
and
chat.
This isn't-
Unfortunately,
doesn't matter for points.
things that to the abilities question. What an ability is never defined.
Yeah.
So, like, psychic powers are referred to many times in the rules as abilities, despite the fact that they're psychic powers. They don't appear in your ability section; they appear in your psyker section. So who knows what an ability is, really?
Looking down the abyss of what is and is not an aura, and then like following on from there is
It's a mess. Yeah.
it's like don't
don't know
Yeah.
about
what is it? Don't stare into
We'll see if it does, 'cause that matter on score.
the eyes of a monster lest ye become one. What's that?
No vital
What's that quote?
Yeah.
That Nietzsche quote?
Chat. The
warriors, and then all my other guns on
the
will touch the wall.
Necron list has Eternal Conquerors, so every core unit, or every unit, excuse me, is objective secured. The Sarek obviously is not part of the custom dynasty, so he does not get objective
You're gonna-
secured.
I don't think it-
But
this
because he
even
had
matters, but I
another
literally
objective
can't catch
secured
you.
model on the table, then
I don't think
or on the objective,
the points
then
matter.
Oh, you're right. I didn't.
you just count raw number of models on there. So that Tombblade being on there was very
Yeah,
important.
you're up.
Even without.
Yeah, it's good. I knew that was the quote.
I think that was a pretty close game.
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah, for
surprised
sure.
you didn't with the Hive Guard the whole game. I just like if he's not gonna shoot.
So it
at
looks like we're
myself,
gonna
that's what I'm saying.
end
36 inches away.
With the deducted
I was
points,
sort of thinking about it. You have
55
enough good shooting that you were going to pick them off slowly, and like
to
any tomb blades that hit them
should be
were going to hurt them pretty bad, I thought.
60 or 76.
If I came out of cover, I guess I could have put a unit here. Probably should have when you deployed so KG. But your obsec really is pretty devastating.
Raze, you scored 10 primary in the last turn, right?
Good.
Yeah, because of the Tomb Blades.
The Tomb Blades. It could go. I could get 15 on it, but I don't know if I'm gonna kill everything down here.
There's just no
Also-
way I could do. I have a lot of trouble
Yeah.
here just trying to get any of the primary stuff in the middle.
All right, if
It's
anybody has
super
any
tough.
questions for the players, go ahead and throw it in chat for the post game.
Basically have only one unit you can't steal the objectives from it. That's probably my warrior.
Glad Race managed to pull it out by 1 point, even ignoring
Maybe have them last.
the
kind
10-point
of like they
deficit
did
there.
Yeah.
Or is this a 21-point deficit? Is this with?
It's a good-
This is not
That's
including the yeah. So
Okay,
it's
there we go.
55
Okay,
for the
so-
Tyranids. This is going to be the final score. Yeah.
Out of our range.
It's like an unequivocal victory then. There's no haggling over the 2
Right.
points. The
Yeah,
two gods there.
that was that was not
Afraid of your-
that was yeah. The gap was just widened by the mistake on Ben's part.
So what did you think? You think there was any way for me to play?
I think we played it fine.
Yeah.
Like over here, I never got the turn off where I could swing around and take objective 1. You might have been able to sacrifice the turn of shooting with this unit of Hive Guard and just move it like this direction, just to cover the backfield so I couldn't swing in on the last turn and take objective 2. Because like imagine the Tomb Blades are back here, and I have to roll a good advance in order to get on the point. I was terrified of your Hive Guard. They're awesome at killing my entire army.
They're pretty good. The range is kind of limited. I thought they were going to be better in this match, but not great. I wasn't rolling very hot with any of my shooting. My
The flip
sequins are
side
pretty
is,
bad.
if you do deploy aggressively with, like, say, the big unit here, and I get first turn, the Wraiths can get you turn 1.
Exactly. So that was exactly my calculus. That if you go here, you go 6, you go 13, then you go here. I could have wrapped them with some stuff. If I wrap them, you're just gonna find a way to get your Tomb Blades to shoot off that wrap somehow. I could have probably deployed more aggressively once I saw that you deployed so defensively back here. That's probably what I should have done. Maybe could have put like
I mean, you had your two, you had the Hive Guard left and the 2 Exocrines to deploy at the end, right? But you'd already prepared your bubble rolls. Like all of your
Yeah.
screen units now.
Yeah. Could have put like one unit of Hive Guard here, maybe, but I don't think that
Yeah.
does a ton for me.
Maybe the smaller
You know
unit
what I
would
mean? And wrap them.
just because this is not a while we stand target and you can afford to give it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Make your race come to them. I mean, the thing is, your unit of 8 Tomb Blades, I guess you don't want to really bring too far out because they're your while we stand, but you're going to get, they get 34 shots?
32.
32. And
Average,
you can
like,
beef them up a little bit.
average like 38 hits.
25 hits?
Wait, no, it's they average
Yeah.
32 hits when they fire without any buffs.
Yeah, so you're, what did you say, 28?
32 because they explode on 6s and the same
32.
likely
They explode.
because they hit on
Yeah.
3s.
Your 32 hits are going to be 16 wounds on my Hive Guard. Guess I'd get 4s. But you're gonna get 8 go through. It only kills 2. Maybe I should have done that just to get a little extra range.
But if you had deployed more aggressively, I might have not swung the Tomb Blades to the right side. I might have actually swung them to the left side. But no, my whole game was just stay outside 36 of the Hive Guard. just sit back.
Yeah. There's a ton of obscuring here, which is nice for me against you because you have such high shooting that you really need to get into my stuff. But I guess, in hindsight, honestly, I should have probably gone this way to extend my range a little bit and kind of take board like this instead of taking the board like that.
Mm-hmm.
That would have done a little better for me, I think. Given me some more options for shooting and stuff. I was just afraid of these blades, but actually they're not that bad. And once you take them as while we stand, you don't want to send them up too far. So
I mean, worst case scenario, you kill all but like 2 tomb blades, and then those tomb blades just run.
Yeah.
They just run and get repaired by this guy. Like I had 420, like 560 points. Even if you don't count the Silent King, just sitting in my backfield doing nothing the whole game.
Yeah, and it's actually, I was thinking this is a good matchup for me in some ways, but super bad for me in the primary, because I don't have Obsec that lasts. I don't have any hardy Obsec. And your Lich Guard, you never even got up the board, but like, dude, I have just no way of moving those guys.
It's
just
called
lasts
20
forever.
hive. You just shoot them with 20 Hive Guard every turn and they die.
You bring them back with your
I can bring back
2 back a turn or something. Yeah, I guess slowly.
Yeah.
You roll hot though. I had to kill your Wraiths.
Yeah, I rolled pretty good on my Wraith saves, and you also rolled bad on your damage. I think you maxed damage against the Wraiths once.
Yeah, and I couldn't wound with my Exocrines, which are pretty important to try to get your Wraiths. And I never got to use the 2 damage, the 2 CP strat to up the damage to 1, which would have been really nasty.
You had the option to do it turn 1 when you shot the unit of 5 over here, but you decided against it because you're going to pull the one that was in line of sight and you wouldn't get to double shoot it. I still think it probably wouldn't have been worth it.
I should have left him out.
Yeah, chat, everybody in there who's been watching exclamation point giveaway as well, because we're going to be giving away some Space Marines
4 hits plus a couple explosions
at the end of the video. So
and then I'm wounding 5.
jump in there if you have any points to spend.
Yeah, I probably should have done that.
And if you don't, we'll I think we'll try to probably clean up the giveaway system for the next for the quarterfinals. But remember to tune in on Friday, probably starting around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have all 4 quarterfinals in one day, probably simulcasting them. So that's going to be going all day. It's going to be sick. And then all this weekend, we're going to be doing the rest of the elimination games, so get hype.
I played a lot on this map, so I know how I'm supposed to play.
Oh yeah, this is I was thinking it was a good map for me coming into this match, because I could hide my Hive Guard, but just the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? He just has such easy ways to just dunk over to each of these objectives with all this Obsec stuff. It's gonna be rough, and I was just hoping you would misplay it a little bit, and didn't. And I played probably a little too conservatively, so.
It was a good game. I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping you'd lose to Harlequins, so I wouldn't have to worry about this match.
Yeah. Oh, but it's a fun matchup. I mean, it's like, I think this is one of those games where no one really whoops the other. Like, we could play 10 times. Every game would be within, like, 5 to 15 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it depends a lot on who makes their invos. Like, if I full commit to try and Exocrine turn 1, and you just make the 5-ups, it's like, well, all right. Or if you unload on a unit of Wraiths and I just don't roll any 4-ups and the whole unit evaporates.
Yeah. Well, congrats, man, and good luck in the next round. Apologies for that Hormigaunt mix-up. I don't know how that happened, but I thought I had 10 and I rolled 9 thinking I had 10. So I don't know what happened there.
Maybe you pulled the wrong list out of your saved items.
Yeah, I might have. I haven't played with so many lists that and I brought Hormigaunts aren't battle scribed. I had to bring them in from some other lists, and I just must have put too many. So apologies for that.
Yeah,
man. Well, good luck.
We have
next round
for us, Trevi.
I don't think there's any questions from the chat, but it was a good game to watch. Raze, congratulations on making it out. Looks like you will be advancing to the elimination stage, which is sick. So congratulations. I'm excited to have Necrons going into the next phase. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Trevi.
Yeah, one of us had to represent Xeno, so good luck, Rex,
Yeah.
man. Go get him.
Oh,
Yeah, we got
I
some
didn't even
Harlequins in
realize-
there too, so you got some Xenos competition.
Is this an entirely
Yes.
Xeno spot?
No, because there's Adeptus Mechanicus.
So we thought, because it was Chris. Yeah, Chris had the mech.
So you just shoved all the Xenos into the AdMech blender, and whichever one floats to the surface gets to move on.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what the goal was. I just wanted to give Adeptus Mechanicus a bunch of really easy matchups so that everyone could see how powerful they were. You know,
Yeah,
that's my
too easy.
that's my my ulterior motive.
Just don't pair me
Yeah,
against
that's
them.
gonna be a tough matchup.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, Ben, thanks for the games, and you have a nice day.
Yeah, good game, Rex. Good luck in the next round, man.
Cool.
Get it.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thanks, Travis.
Cheers. All right, Shuma, any final thoughts?
Oh no, that was a good game. I'm excited for the elimination stage. You know why they call it the elimination stage?
Because a bunch of people about to be eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah, if you die in the game, you die in real life.
In real life. We send a strike team to your house. So that is the last game of the elimination stage to be completed. So we do actually have a complete picture of who's going to be getting out, which we'll just run through right here in descending order of score.
Let's do it.
We have Ashley Thompson, Chris Kinnair, Alex Squires, Valdor, Jan Anamander, Liam Vissel, Skauki, and last but certainly not least, Rex will be your Season 2 elimination graduates. All the NIDs have been eliminated, chat. Yes, it's unfortunate. True. Although...
I think Chaos has two, right?
the players, Chaos also has been eliminated, yes. The players do have the ability to change their lists up for the elimination stage, so there is the possibility that we might see some spicy audibles and maybe NIDs come back. We'll see how it goes. Death Guard will also be legal for the elimination stage, so we may see Death Guard as well.
That'll be interesting.
That will be super interesting to see how they shake up how players are approaching the games. And the pairings for those are going to be posted later tonight. So the players will start to build their lists later this week. We'll see those lists come out. And Friday, everyone, is going to be when the elimination, the quarterfinals of the eliminations play out. It's going to be super exciting. We're going to be giving away more stuff, which is great. And speaking
More
of giving
prizes.
away, let's see if I can figure out how to draw a prize for this giveaway today. Here we go. If anybody, Valdor was not eliminated, chat. He was the fourth person I said. Let's click this button. All right. If anybody wants to
Click.
buy a ticket, then you have approximately 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. A couple more for people waiting in the wings. All right, here we go. Kidda says do it, so do it.
I just spent my points.
Do it. All right. Let's draw a winner. Survey says Corevin
Congrats.
with the win. Congratulations. I will hit me up in Discord. If you're not in the Discord, come join. What are you doing? I know you are, though, so come on in. And just shoot me an address, and I'll send you the stuff. You get a box of Infiltrator/Incursors, as well as a Primaris Librarian. We also have a bunch of other stuff to give away. I got more Librarians. I got Librarians for days. I got some Scouts. I got some cool conversion bits. And we're gonna be giving away some gift cards. Yeah. We're gonna be giving away some gift cards as well. In the over the course of the elimination stage too. So it's gonna be sick. I'm super excited for that.
Eat bolt gun!
Chat going wild with the soundboard right now. And let's raid somebody. Anybody live?
Let's do it.
Artosis is live.
Red Artosis. I'm always saying Red Artosis.
We stand ready.
Chat, should we raid Artosis?
Well, let's keep it in the community. The Death Lord Glory's going right now. We
Let's
can
do
hit them
Death
again.
Lord Glory. the meme will continue, I guess. We'll raid Artosis.
If we're gonna raid
some other
Artosis, we gotta hit him on an off day. If he's at 2K, he might not.
day. Yeah, that's true. All right, we're going to Death or Glory. Those guys are cool. Let's do it in a bit. After, all right, I'm gonna click the button. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks.
Artosis streams. All right, brutal.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Again, before we close this out, big thanks to our sponsors as well. I'm gonna remember to do that. Shout out Discount Games Inc. Gives you super cheap models. So cheap, in fact, that they aren't even allowed to advertise on their website how cheap they are. They give you rebates on your 40K, which is sick. GameMat.eu, which makes mats, and Resin Terrain, which is gorgeous. 3D6 Wargaming, who, this is exciting, is going to be doing some Tactical Tortoise branded objective markers, just like these ones. Well, not just like these ones. The Invitational winners get ones just like these ones, but the other ones are going to be different. But they'll look like the ones that are on the maps. You buy them with money.
Okay.
I'll have more information about those probably later this week, I think, as soon as that gets closed down. All right, let's go raiding, everybody. Goodbye.
Everybody.